to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pulling Fans, episode number 46 of the No Practice Podcast. Pulling season is upon us. It's getting close to a close, but we are still soldiering on. Gathered again in our little studios, joined by Chase and Adam. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
If I was any better, I would be Bruce Law. Last guest.
Okay.
The show. Shout out to Bruce Law, filling in for Tyler. Tyler, we missed you. The last No Practice Podcast was a live one at Bowling Green, Ohio. That was pretty damn fun. We had a huge turnout, so we missed you, but we miss Bruce not being here again. So if I could be any better, I'd be Bruce Law, except on a snowmobile.
Yes, of course. And Adam, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, not too bad. Just reminiscing of the last show there at Bowling Green with we had some nice little background music going on. For sure we'll not have that next year. I can promise you that. Who knows, fans, maybe next year we might be in the campgrounds where we truly need to be.
No, there's no maybe. We're making that initiative. We're only going to do it in the campgrounds. We just got to make sure we go about the right way. So
Site 3333, and I know whose place that is, so it should be a pretty good time. Well, might just throw a shot out there for that this year. But no, been a pretty good couple of weeks, I guess. We're still moving along here, so
Bowling
glad to
Green
be back on the podcast.
How long does it take you all to recover from Bowling Green? I know we're 2 weeks removed, but like that week is just draining. And then the heat this year was obviously probably record heat, I'd say, or it's the hottest I remember it. And then all the activities. I don't think it took me till Thursday to feel fully recovered, but I won't call it a Bowling Green hangover, just a Bowling Green recovery. So.
Honestly, for me, this was probably the tamest Bowling Green I can ever remember from a recovery standpoint, because I showed up on Thursday and we had to pull Friday in the afternoon. And at Hillsboro, we noticed quite a bit of brass in my oil filter. And I think I even sent Adam a picture, and I said, "What do you think, Adam? My dad just says it's push rods clearancing the head gasket." And Adam's like, "Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I guess." And turns out we tried running that engine at Bowling Green, and when I pulled back on the throttle Friday afternoon, it shut itself off, which is a convenient feature until we pulled the filter, and there was all sorts of glittery goodness in there. And upon pulling the intake, there was just, I don't know, bits and pieces of everything in there. And so I don't know if it broke a crank. In all honesty, we haven't even pulled it apart yet. We decided not to do that at Bowling Green, because why go home with a truck bed full of 100 different pieces when you can just conveniently, gather about 6 guys and just pick that engine up and put it right in the bed of the truck. And it's been unloaded from the truck, and it's still sitting in our building. We haven't pulled it apart yet. So my guess is a broke crank, but which means pulling an engine out meant we had to put one in. So the bulk of our day, Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, was getting my tractor ready to run. And the irony when you spend all this time on one tractor, getting a different engine in it, putting in a spare engine, spending all this time, there's just something subconsciously that tells you the more time you spend on a pulling tractor, the better it should do, right?
Negative.
Not necessarily, because we pretty much completely neglected Bruce's tractor, which I was lucky enough to drive to a second place finish on Saturday night. Meanwhile, the one we spent all this time on got like 35th or something like that. So that's just... seems like that's tractor pulling. That's how that goes. So, yeah, not a whole lot of beer drinking. I mean, we did get to put down a couple beers, but not quite the normal party atmosphere for me, but enjoyable nonetheless. How about you, gentlemen?
Oh, it was pretty good, I think. We leave on Thursday, Friday. Can't remember what day because it's been so long ago now. But we go to Napoleon. We don't come home until after Wellington, and we use it kind of as a wind down time. Usually this time of year, I'm not really that busy at work. I'm starting to get into the final heat of the season. It's 7.5 hours to drive home every time, 3 weekends in a row, 4 weekends in a row, if you think about it, this coming weekend. So we decided to stay out. Of course, whenever you go to Napoleon and you get there a night early, you got to have a few drinks because you made it there. And then, well, we ended up winning the pool there on Saturday or Friday. I can't even remember what day it was. Saturday, I guess it was. We won the pool, so we had to drink then too. Then you get to Bowling Green, you gotta have. Oh man, we got here. We gotta have some beers for getting there. And be honest with you, about Thursday, I'm tired already. So, which you kind of got to go hard early because when you pull Friday afternoon and Saturday night, Friday and Saturday are shot. Like, you might get to sit and watch Thursday night session and hang out there for a little bit, but you got to go to bed at a decent hour to get up and they want you staging pretty early, a driver's meeting and all that stuff. Really don't need to be feeling terrible to do that stuff. And it's hot outside. And, but overall it was, it's amazing how fast that place goes together and it comes apart. The next day it's basically cleaned completely out. It is amazing what they do. And then we stay at Bowling Green for a couple days. We actually have to get off the grass, so we have to drive our rig with the awning out on the trailer up onto the asphalt. We drive out there and we plug in and we try to maintenance our stuff to go to Wellington, which it's a blessing and a curse. It's good to be able to wind down and take your time taking everything apart and putting it back in the trailer and getting all your stuff, because that's a big week for everybody. But it also gives you a lot of time to second guess a few things, and we didn't second guess anything. I'm not calling my shots or anything like that because I'm just not that type of guy, but we found a huge mistake that we've been making all year. And I don't know, we may even make a bigger mistake now that we know what we were doing wrong. Or
tell us what it is.
You want to be so it's so bad I don't even want to tell you.
I want to know.
5,000 people tuning in. Nobody's paying attention.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I mean, we've ran pretty good this year, right?
You have.
So, and I felt like we've done really good. Man, I can't believe I'm going to tell everybody this, but
do it.
We found out that we have a tire air pressure gauge that's been wrong.
Oh.
For the majority part of the year, and it just progressively gotten worse. So we weren't even in the ballpark when it comes to what I think we should run for air pressure. I could be wrong. A couple of those places where it was wrong and we did good, and we need to know that, hey, we still need to do that. Other places we need to make an adjustment. So it's definitely been pretty disheartening to know that, of course, I bought a high dollar gauge now and we're going to see what it does, but just kind of frustrating to know that we had all the signs in front of us and we couldn't figure it out without, like, I'm loading the tractors up and I'm raising the lift on the tractors and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that should not be like that. And so who knows? We may go flip her over here this weekend. I don't know. But
Adam, would you mind? So people probably have no idea. We joke around about gear ratios, but I think we all have a good idea. Tire pressure and mini rod. People like we probably run no more than 2.5 pounds of air or less. Maybe somebody runs a little more. So that's not much air in a tire, and like a little bit of something being off really can throw things off. How far off was your tire gauge?
Well, so let's put it this way. So I have a K&M Defender that I have to lower the air pressure down in the tires just to get it in the trailer because it's pretty tall. And so first thing I did when I got out of the trailer, like, I'm going to check this gauge. So at 20 pounds, it's off 4.8 pounds. So it was 24.8 is the real air pressure. The gauge only says, or no, take that back. Real pressure is 24.8. On my gauge, it's 20 pounds.
So it's about 25% low. So in a scenario where Adam's trying to run 2 pounds of air, all of a sudden he's running 1.5 pounds, which to those listening, you might say, well, it's a
not
half.
even. I'm going to
Half a
say
PSI.
not even that.
So, but I
So,
mean, a little makes a big difference, basically.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So I mean, all the signs were on the wall, right? So we get halfway through the year here. It really started at a Chapel Hill. We're going to the hitch pad and stuff. We're like, we can't get the hitch all the way up. You know, obviously Tyler's always trying to run a 13-inch hitch. You know,
Of
and
course.
we're trying to figure things out here, and I'm going, we can't get the hitch all the way up. That's not a good sign, right? We have good chassis now, and we can run a pretty high hitch at times, and I'm like, this ain't good. So we put different bolts in and made them a little bit longer, which all those chassis are the same. And I'm going, oh, you know, whatever. We got towards the end of the year, and every time every time you go across the hitch pad, you're raising the hitch. You know, what the hell? We're just recording. Because as you run these pulling tires, they get softer. The sidewalls break in. They start getting a lot more flexible. So if you're running a given air pressure, the ass end of the tractor starts to go down. Well, you keep making the adjustment to get your hitch where it needs to be, and you may change it. You know, we may lower it here or there, but I'm loading the tractor up. I'm looking at the hitch, and my hitch looks like Ken Vinny's. You know, that thing's like this, and hey, it worked for him. It does not work for me, I don't think. I mean, I made some pretty decent runs, but not like I've been running. But so I did a little, bought a new gauge and we were making big mistake.
Yeah.
So who knows it at this point? I wouldn't say I'm defeated because we're still in the hunt, obviously, but I was really trying to do good with all 3 tractors this year, and I felt like we were running pretty damn good there at a point in time. And just as the tracks have started, hey, when the tracks are wet, we're doing all right. As the tracks start to dry out and stuff, and you know, maybe we're giving away some of our secrets here, but that's when that air pressure comes into the window. So who knows? This weekend's it could be anything. Last year that track was really wet and dangerous, which I like those. It could be dry and hard. You just don't know what you're going to get till you get there. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, the wet ones are always dangerous for sure. It kind of sounds to me like what Adam said is wet track equals less tire pressure, dry track equals more tire pressure. I think that was Chase's takeaway, just kind of reading his face there. But you almost got to wonder, like, as well as you were doing, when you say I'm not even in the ballpark, was it maybe showing you a new ballpark that you did want to be in certain scenarios? So even though it was a mistake, you can still learn something from it, yes?
Yeah, I think so. You know, here's the thing, though. I think at the beginning of the year, the tires, I have all new tractors. I had brand new tires. So at first, when the gauge, you know, was off and the tires aren't broken in, you know, was it lower than it needed to be? I don't know. Maybe it was right for those tires. As the years gone on, should we have raised the air pressure? I think that's common knowledge that people kind of do that. But, you know, I don't know. It's a stupid mistake for a guy that, you know, in my instance, I do everything. I don't have a computer. I don't have any, but a computer won't tell you that gauge is wrong. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Like,
What we do, Adam, in all honesty, is we have 2 theoretically identical tire gauges that are from the same company, obviously, and we have both of them in a drawer, but one of them has a little bit larger gauge face on it than the other one. That way we can kind of side by side check them, and you can grab this one, you can grab that one, or you can grab them both and go check your tires. So you're kind of just constantly cross-checking the 2 of those. So if something seems off,
I do agree with that because we do have 2 gauges too. And I think what I found in this instance was this happened to us a few years ago when my dad was alive. We had the exact same thing happen. The gauge, you know, the gauge wasn't quite right. And we are cross-referencing with another one. We go to buy another said gauge just like it. We get a different reading. Then you start going, well, what is right? You know what I mean? So then you're like, so what the hell are we doing? So we did have another gauge and we cross-referenced it a little bit. And it's like I said, we just made a stupid mistake. And like I said, maybe we did learn something. I don't know. Maybe we're giving away a little bit, but I mean, there's still some other parts of the vehicle that got to get her down there too. You still got to drive it, and you still got to have some horsepower to do it sometimes. So, I don't know. Maybe feel a little bit better if I would have stayed on top of things a little bit better. I feel bad because I feel like I'm kind of to the. I'm not like a big record keeper, so I'm not like very detail oriented. Like what I'll do to set my fuel is I take a picture of my air gauge on my phone. And that picture reminds me of, okay, I ran this jet at this pull. Next pull we go to, I just go screw in the jet and it goes on down there just fine. So we're not very scientific about the things, but we have never really changed outside of our setup zone, honestly. Like we really only do one thing. We tried changing a bunch of stuff years ago and it does nothing but give you headaches. So
Yeah.
You can really I feel that's one of the reasons we've done fairly well this year is because we haven't changed anything all year long. Maybe small adjustments here or there. So, we'll see. We're still in the hunt here, so I feel like I gave a couple things away. But
whenever
that's part of it.
for anyone that's living under a rock and not keeping up with the most badass class in pulling, there is a pretty high intense points battle going down to the wire here, and Adam is 3 points out of first. Jeff Hurt with Little Bears leading. Lindsey Campbell, I think, is 6 points back, and Adam Bauer is the other one, 7 points back. It's pretty well a 4-horse race that anything can shake out. Going to Wasion this Friday, and then the top 5 qualifiers go to the Enderley with. I guess if a guy has more than a 4-point lead, it's sealed up. But I have a feeling that's not going to happen this weekend. But yeah. Pretty exciting to watch for anyone that loves pulling and likes to see what's going on right now with the most badass class, in my opinion. It's just it's unfortunate that me and Tyler are so far back or not involved in it. That's the only thing. I'm just really jealous.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Bowling Green. I'm sorry. I was just going to say at Bowling Green, you took your tractor apart and you put it back together. Chase's tractor got taken apart and did not get put back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chase, tell us why you weren't at the last points pull.
Yeah, Wellington last Friday. Of course, we've not done very well at all with our mini rod. That's not a secret, but leaving Bowling Green, we kind of had a plan to try to fix what we thought is a problem or trying to chase a problem we had with the tractor. And long story short, was getting ready to leave to go to Wellington, 7-hour drive on Thursday, and found some issues that weren't able to go back together. I guess it's probably the nicest way to say it. So I didn't make it and not going to make it this weekend either to Wasion. We're so far out of the race and have the light mod to run at Canton. So I'm not I guess you could call me a quitter, and I'm not proud to say it.
That's what it seems like.
I'm not proud to say it, but it was a circumstance that just wasn't going to work out. So,
all right, fair enough. Adam, I got to ask you, who would you least prefer to be chasing down in that number 1 spot in the mini rod class?
I don't know. That's a good question. Everybody's had up and down seasons. I think we've all had times where we ran good and times that we've ran bad. I mean, if you're chasing, whoever's leading, I guess, right, is kind of the I guess, I don't know. This weekend, if there's 30 tractors and there's 22, 20, 18, how many people there are running for points, it could be very good or very bad for anybody. And I think that class is just unpredictable enough that could happen. I mean, the last 3 years that we pulled at Wasion, the track's been different every single year. And I think there's been times where guys done good and there's been times where guys done bad. So honestly, I'm just trying to run my own stuff like I normally do. And hopefully, I say normally do, we're going to try obviously a little more air pressure, but maybe not. I don't know. At times it's ran good. So who knows?
Adam, and I saw the lineup that was posted yesterday. Really funny. You're within pretty close, right, in terms of when you're hooking?
Oh, yeah, just randomly. I think all of us are directly in the middle right after each other or close to it. I mean,
Yeah. Wink, wink.
I wish I would have had that kind of draw at Bowling Green instead of being 48th and 55th or 56th or whatever it was.
I mean, we can't bash that because they tried passing a rule saying all the points runners were going to run together, and we shit on that so hard that we gotta accept that a random draw is what
I will say this, and I've been a pretty big critic about it. Mini rods pulling in the afternoon. The track was better in the afternoon than it was at night. Just saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought Bowling Green's tracks were good the entire time, honestly.
I don't know who dictates where you turn the water on and off, but when it starts getting dusty, you might be able to put a little bit more on to keep.
That is a hot tip. Yeah,
it's a hot tip. I don't know who's going. Cut it off. I have an idea who it is. We all kind of do, I think, but that's for a class that drives the track out. I mean, Chase, you've been pulling two-wheel drive forever. I mean, how important is that number one spot at times?
It's daytime pulling. I think I don't know. It's so damn.
It's really weird. Sometimes in a two-wheel drive, like the leader will put a distance out there, nobody will get close to it for a while, and then the class, if it's so big, by the end of it, starts coming back around.
It seems like at Bowling Green, it does really weird shit, and it kind of goes in waves. So. Yeah, we were dead last hook on Saturday during the day and made it probably his best run we could ever make and finish sixth. And that's like a win in our book. So. Yeah,
I mean, Friday afternoon, I think I was, like I said, 48th or whatever it was. And I think I got up to 7th with that run. I thought that was the best I could do, I thought. I was happy with it.
What is your all's thoughts? I want to talk about this. And Adam, I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But from the No Practice podcast, I'm pulling for you to bring this back to the next show this week and then on the interlude. But in Bowling Green, we see, I think it's really the only time all year at any pull anywhere that you see pull-offs, right? Is it safe to say there's no pull-offs anywhere else?
Hell, I don't know. They just making stuff up as they go, so I guess.
Adam, positivity.
but there's not another pull in the world that I know that does pull-offs. Someone please comment.
Well, hey, I agree, man. I agree. Maybe this brings us into a subject here a little bit later. Sometimes they have the pull off after a class. Sometimes they have it right after the class. I mean,
that's an interesting concept.
You care to give us a teaser to that?
Maybe we will. Maybe we'll just touch on that a little bit. Maybe for
more on that later.
I think I've said this a few times on this podcast. I think pull offs are great for fans. Like, it's exciting, and obviously, if you're in it as a competitor. I think it's pretty damn cool too. But like, why can't we just
figure it out?
Like no matter what, like the top three distances, whatever they are, if they're 370, if they're fucking 305, the top three distances come back and that's the pull off. Like, is it that complicated?
Careful now, they might adapt that rule next week.
Yeah, easy. Chase, NTPA did a little press release deal where you can submit your ideas for a potential rule change. So, why don't you put that in writing?
Use a letter, right?
Run it up the flagpole, and we'll see how it goes. So that's probably Chase's suggestion. Adam, what would your one rule suggestion be if you had to put one in writing and submit it? What would it be?
Oh man, that's a good one.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagine what his head's doing right now.
There's about 35 things on my mind. Number one thing.
Number one.
What would it be?
What would it be?
I'm going to take a pass for a second because I've never used this, but give me 2 seconds to narrow it down.
All right. Do you want me to say mine?
Go ahead. Do it.
I say in the mini rod class, unlimited hitch height. And I think that would increase the element of willing to go above and beyond at a grasp of straws, in a sense, for a competitive advantage, knowing that it is most likely going to cause a wreck, which are what the fans are coming there to see. But if you're putting yourself in that scenario willingly, then who's at fault but the driver in the seat? It's going to make the lines to the track flow a lot more smoothly. If people want to get wild with it and want to get greedy with their setup, albeit maybe a 5% chance it's going to offer a competitive advantage. There's a 95% chance you're just going to wad shit up and wreck it. And I feel like in the mini rod class, especially, so many people aren't running that maximum hitch height anyway. So why not just open it up and say, all right, guys, go ahead and be as stupid as you want. If you want to run a 14.5-inch hitch, go be dumb and please our fans by wrecking your stuff. And we'll see you in a month when you get done fixing it. I think it'd make things exciting.
Yeah, see, rules like that,
the underwriter
Tyler,
from the insurance company would love that.
Yeah, I think rules
they
like
insure
that,
sprint cars and they roll them every heat in qualifying. What's it matter?
See, rules like that, Tyler, will just rename NTPA to never take puller's advice if you come up with shit like that.
Adam, positivity.
Sorry. I don't know. There's so many.
It's been a while since we've done this.
So many things that I could think about.
Honestly, my more serious suggestion would be opening up the blower overdrive to whatever you want, because I feel like there's people, I'm not going to name names, but there's people running some really good chargers that don't need to spin that fast. And then there's guys that are running what I'm going to call more of a low dollar 1471. And I think it would even the playing field if you allow a guy with, say, a $10,000 blower to spin it at 65% over. And it might even out that playing field as far as,
like the two-wheel drive class, right?
Yeah, who's got more money tied up in a supercharger? Because, if you want to go buy maybe more of a B grade blower, but you can spin it at 65 over, hey, maybe you're not going to be as far behind of a guy that's, running a 45% over blower. I think that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I got a. There's so many things, dude. I don't think
there's so many you can't think of a single.
No, one. I can't. I can think. I'm just trying to think of the number one thing that I would jump out there and say, because okay, number one rule: we have to know the distance of the track. If there's a pull off, if there's not a pull off,
never happening. Next,
we gotta have a goal. Next rule. Okay, no regional national class pulls before Grand National. I feel bad after watching Wellington. This is no offense to them. And
hang on. What if the Grand National class is 2-wheel drive? Is that an exception?
I don't know. I don't give a shit.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Cancel culture.
No, here's why I'm saying this. So take for Wellington, for instance. Okay, the lineup was classic super stock, mini rods, unlimiteds, light supers, and pro stocks. By the time the pro stocks got to run, nobody was really in the stands. Like, I'm sorry, classic super stock guys, regional class, that's in the rule book. I think it says that regional classes run after Grand National. But as a pro stock puller, I want to pull in front of people. I don't want to be like the last people up. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you can say that the classic super stocks groom the track better. I don't think so. They don't turn the tire off the starting line, and then they barely turn it down the track. No offense. But I mean, just my kind of sounds.
It kind of sounds to me like you're wanting there to be a rule for something there's already a rule about. So
that's true, or at least just to follow the rules that you have.
You're gonna get a positivity check on that one, Adam. I don't know about that.
Damn. I guess I'm just Mr. Negative.
We have some big guests coming up on tonight.
Maybe we should ask them.
We're going to get to those, but hang on a second. Before, we can never do this enough on this show. You fans, Bowling Green, Ohio, like, it's amazing how many people follow this podcast. And we all tell our own stories about people stopping by our pits or having a good time. But, like, Tyler, you weren't there, but we probably had a couple to 200 to 300 people there watching our podcast live at Bowling Green on the track, which is pretty amazing and a lot of fun. So, you fans, we got to shout you out. Once again, this off season, we're going to have a lot more opportunities to get you involved when we get to the off season portion of the podcast. But thank you to your fans. Always stop by at least my pit and say hello. It makes for all a good day for everyone. So, and you'll probably see some shit you never seen before.
For sure, I will second that. It was really cool, even at our local pull here. That we had, to have people walk up to me and be like, hey, I was listening to the show, and what was your guys' bet from Bowling Green? Which on that topic, I feel like we significantly let our fans down and didn't lock in a bet, but that's probably my fault for not being on the show. So
Who would have lost, you?
I think I would have lost. Yeah.
I missed my chance again.
Damn it.
Yeah, indeed.
It depends on which tractor you pick.
We all get so busy at Bowling Green. I don't think I saw Tyler one time the entire weekend, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's not always like that at Bowling Green. It just seemed that way.
Hey, I got an idea. Here's that rule that I was thinking of, which will lead into another segment of our show later, is if you're going to have a pull-offs, no DQs and pull-offs. If you want to run off the track, as long as you get a measurable distance, you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be awesome? Like, okay, guys, just wide open. If you want to take it across the track into the other track, let's have it.
Well, my dad in the unlimited class, I didn't know this is a rule myself. That's he finished. He's second in points behind Joe Ader. He's going to finish there, but I think he was 6 behind, and Joe made the unbelievable run, but he was out of bounds. But it was past 350. I didn't know that was a rule. Did you all know that after 350
yes.
there's no out of bounds? I wasn't.
Yes, and they even often.
I guess.
Sorry.
Maybe he should have been in the pro stock class. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, easy at him. I think they even stop the chalk line at 350 foot.
At some places they do.
When you go beyond that 350, it's just wide open space.
Was it Norwalk? Wasn't Norwalk like you get to 75 feet and then it's just wherever you want to go?
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun. So at Norwalk on the drag strip, they had 2 tracks side by side, but once you got to like 100 foot, if you were on the right track, the left chalk line just ended, and you could just YOLO onto the other track and just do whatever you wanted. And it was.
I think I saw one just take like 3 acres up when they took down the track. They went across the track to the left. It was really funny. It was really funny to me that they let them do that. Then a mini rod guy like barely goes across the line at 100 feet. They DQ'd him. It's like, come on, guys, just let him go. Because wasn't the track too narrow, right? In order to have
why did they do that at Norwalk? I can't remember. Was it because they were too narrow, Tyler?
I think so. I don't think they had enough room for the legal minimum of track.
No, I remember what it was.
Way to ask me and then correct me.
For the track equipment, there was no room for them to turn around.
Okay,
that's why they had to open it up. I'm pretty sure, but someone correct me on that. But that was a unique circumstance for sure.
Well, I wasn't there, so I didn't see it, but it was pretty intense.
I got to say, watching the last pull on Full Pull Live, and I got to watch Adam run along with the other fellow mini rod competitors, even though Chase wasn't partaking in the class. As my father and I were watching it, I noticed a end of track commentator, announcer, interviewer, whatever you want to say, and ignorant I was, because I said to my father, I said, I don't know who she is, but she knows what she's doing out there. That is not her first time doing that, which I almost feel stupid saying that, as if like I have some sort of qualifications to decide that, knowing in fact who it was. So it's time to bring on our first guest for this evening.
Miss Krista Voda Kelly, I think is we'll see which one is the proper announcement. But Krista, thank you for joining the No Practice podcast. I'm sure you've made plenty of appearances before, but have you ever been on something as significant as No Practice podcast?
Never. This is the highlight. So when PK asked me if I would come on, and I said, wait, is that the one? That's the show with, Tyler has better hair than me, right? So and they talk about nothing but everything all at the same time. Yep, I'm game.
Yeah, this is a show about nonsense.
Nice to see you too, Krista.
Yeah, I like your hair comment, but I don't know if I can accept that. You got some pretty good
okay.
flowing locks yourself, but I appreciate it. So tell us how you got wrapped up in the world of tractor pulling and what your background was and why you were doing what you were doing last weekend and why you were so kick-ass at it.
Oh, well, thank you. So there's a professional side and a personal side. So professionally, as you saw that photo pop up, I was a broadcast major, worked in several stations. I was a stick and ball sports fan. Like I was the little kid who sat in the bleachers and kept baseball score. Like I was football, baseball, wrestling. I grew up in Iowa, but knew nothing about tractors. Like I had to move to Pittsburgh to marry a farmer, which is PK, producer for Full Pull Live. So he's a tractor puller. So I became a fan of tractor pulling by default, chasing him around and pulling the super farm out of the trailer and doing the air pressures. But that's my lane. That's pretty much where I stay when I'm at a tractor pull. So, but to get to know Full Pull Live and the work that you guys are doing, helping to grow the sport, first of all, is awesome. And I can get more into that. But I was a NASCAR reporter. That was what I did for the last 20 years. I covered horse racing, figure skating, track and field, like you name it, I've covered it. But I didn't grow up a NASCAR fan. I didn't grow up a horse racing fan. And now helping you guys and contributing a little bit to tractor pulling. My fear is always when you come into a sport that you don't necessarily know is to make sure you don't alienate the hardcore fan. All of these great fans that you guys have, and they're chiming in right now, Todd and Brandon and Amanda. The last thing you want to do is alienate them. But I have the unique perspective of being an outsider. So if I have a question about something I see, I figure, okay, somebody at home does, and maybe I can bring in somebody who isn't hardcore, and that's how you grow the sport. You have to get to the people who maybe are on the outside, on the fringe looking in.
For sure. How did you segue from being a stick and ball sports fan to all of a sudden you're commentating on NASCAR? I mean, how does that transition take place when you got that call?
Yeah, and it's, again, you don't want to alienate the hardcore fan. Racing fans, whether it's tractor pulling, NASCAR, they know it inside and out. They live it. They are loyal. And so, a football fan, you can turn on a game on a Sunday and you can follow it whether you're a hardcore fan or not. Tractor pulling, horse racing, NASCAR, not necessarily the case. You have to really know your stuff. So I never want to try to be someone I'm not. I am not I'm not the crew chief. I am not the person, with the nuts and bolts. But hopefully I can bring the emotion, like watching that it was wild in Wellington. Jeff Hurt, his emotion, his first run, he jumps off and it's a fist pump. And that's what I tried to talk to him about, because that you can portray emotion to a fan, whether tractor pulling or not. And then his next run, he drops, comes back. His fist is in the air before the tractor is even shut down. Like he is still like in the throttle, fist pumping like crazy. You can feel that. I don't have to know anything about tractors to necessarily know that guy is so stoked. And what he was able to do to jump up in the points in a battle that's so tight. I mean, this is wild. So I'm really excited for you guys for Wasion, and then also Canton as well. For
sure. And you even got to interview the character Billy Beers. What do you think of that guy?
Oh, I'm going to I got invited to his daughter's wedding. It's the weekend after Enderley. They're going to have goats on the hill on his farm in New York. There's goats that are invited as well. So I don't know if I can make it, but I think I was invited, or I just invited myself.
Did he invite you during this interview?
During the interview, yes, that is when he invited me.
Yeah, that's Billy Beers does have a lot of pulling fans out there. So anybody you just heard at the weekend after Enderley, show up to Coleman's Hall in New York, and you can go to his daughter's wedding on the hill.
Brittany. Yep. It's awesome. That was so cool though, to see. I got to talk to him and his crew chief, Wayne, for a little bit in the afternoon. So it was really exciting to see what they were able to do and jump up there as well, because I mean, it's that battle for Enderley, right? It's that the battle for fifth is so intense to get that invite to Enderley. So there's a lot of storylines, and I just hope I'm doing it justice. Like I said, I don't want to come in and say, oh my gosh, I know what I'm talking about. I don't. I know television and I know how to tell a story. But I don't do what you guys do. I'm just hoping to try to find an angle of a story that maybe interests me. And again, if you can grow the sport. And I think that's what's great about what Full Pull Live is doing, being able to see what, PK is. So my husband is PK, or Phil Kelly. You guys know him probably as PK. He's so passionate about tractor pulling and his experience in television. That's how we met covering NASCAR. He just doesn't stop. So to see that passion from him and all of you guys and your team on site is really cool. And I think it's really great what's happening with Full Pull Live. Am I allowed to drink beer on this show?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So
absolutely.
I can't tell you what I'm drinking.
What are we drinking? You can't tell us.
They didn't sponsor. So sponsorship's key. So where I come from, they have to pay to play. Yeah. So if they start sponsoring the No Practice podcast, then I can rip off this Post-it. But it's
nice. Chase, if you look at this whole deal, Chase is the only one that's really sponsored from this podcast. I mean,
I keep it all.
Shell Rotella, love you. Been there forever for me. Chase talked about us getting us a sponsor for this podcast. I think we're slowly getting there.
Oh, we got it. I just been keeping it all. I forgot to send you the money.
That's my boy.
Along with that contract too.
Yeah.
So Krista, I am a engine builder and a tractor puller, not even a very good podcaster, but I always want to know, like, how do you go about preparing for like a big interview, or like how do you approach maybe, obviously you've interviewed some of the biggest stars in NASCAR throughout the years, but like when you're going and prepping for something, this is no practice. We do not prep at all. We try to maybe do 5 minutes worth of research maybe for this thing, but how do you go about preparing for a big interview, or where do you find your insight for some of the questions you want to ask them, these people?
Yeah, I mean, it starts with boots on the ground. I'll take the standings and just sort of, work the pits a little bit and try to talk to as many people as I can about what's the flavor. What is as you guys wind down your season, obviously it's, points and Enderley. And this year with Enderley being a points race, that's, so different. So, I love it. She's so cool, by the way. And Lindsay. Just that family and just what they do, Kevin and Lindsay, that's awesome. And that was a lot of fun. So it's just getting to know people. And obviously you can't replace time in the sport. So I can't fabricate relationships with these drivers because I don't know them, but I'm getting to know them a little bit. And I just try to be honest and say, hey, I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, but my job is to hopefully paint you in a good light and paint the sport in a good light and get people interested. And, people don't watch television or streaming the way they used to. It's people have a really short attention spans and you have to hook them. So it's just finding what's the hook, what's the draw, what makes someone interested. So
for sure. Love it. So your husband obviously was operating a camera. You were the person with the microphone. What lesson could you give to the young PKs out there in the world on how to get the girls' attention that's holding the microphone?
Oh my gosh. He's better. So he's a player, right? So he has some game. So okay. The thing is, everyone assumes, first of all, everyone assumes I'm the social, like I'm the person who knows what I'm talking about in any sport I'm covering because I'm the one on camera. First of all, he knows so much more. Like he is so mechanically inclined. For tractors, when we watch a NASCAR race, I'm listening to the stories, listening to the emotion. He's watching the car. He's like, oh, did you see that? The camber and the going into turn. I'm like, no, I'm like all about the stories. So we watch a race or a tractor pull totally different. When we first met, he was just the guy. He knew where all the fun parties were. He was the guy that knew where to go.
The Chase Richardson of the NASCAR scene.
Yeah. So as long as I would say, so to the youngins out there, just, have your social card filled up and, he's smooth. The problem is both of our bodies are getting older. So we like to do, like we used to be fun and crazy. And now we think, oh, that's going to hurt on Monday, whatever, that's going to like come back to haunt us, but we still try. We can stay up late one night of a weekend. It's tough to do this every night, but
he must not tell you everything he does on the road then.
Yeah, it's okay. I have to. The paint. I make sure the Motrin and the Advil is full on the Monday. So
yeah, I can recall not this past year, but the year before in Toma, Wisconsin, him and I were shotgunning some beers at about 2 a.m. and I ran into him the next day, and he's like, "Tyler, I can't do that anymore."
I know, that's what he says. I know, but he tries. He always is game, and he just loves you guys. He loves like I said, the sport, loves the idea of growing the sport and being a part of Full Pull Live. And I hope the viewers, there's such loyal viewers that I hope they see what we're trying to do. Because in order for tractor pulling, in order for like county fairs, right, to continue to be there, you have to get the young kids. You have to get the next generation interested. You have to have little Joe and the hurt kids running around because they have to grow it from their friends and their, cousins and their like schoolmates. That's where it has to go. So I know that without alienating the long-term fans, but the long-term fans are there. You've got them. We don't want to alienate them, but we got to bring in new viewers too.
Absolutely. So when you say he's got to know where the parties are at, and I'm sure you've been at some unique ones. Yeah. Granted, we can only draw from the stories you're willing to tell, but what is the wildest story where you were amongst mixed company where you're like, people won't even believe me when I tell them this story?
Let me think.
You're eliminating ones in your mind that you can't tell.
I am. I'm thinking, well, Vegas. So the NASCAR season used to end, and they would do the big awards banquet in Vegas. So right there is a bad combination.
Great combination. Great
combination.
Yeah.
So we were in some fun places in Vegas. I say there was one night. Jeff Gordon can stay up pretty late in Vegas. Really? Denny Hamlin has a lot of numbers he shouldn't have.
I can see that.
Oh wow.
Elaborate on that.
No, you just get, sometimes you need a good DJ. You need a good masseuse. You just need people when you're in Vegas, right? So
okay. Sure. Fair enough.
It was a good time. It was fun.
So you worked for the NASCAR for 19 years, is that right?
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right. And
you were like basically the sideline call reporter and the pits reporter for 19 years solid?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I started on a magazine show. So like a lifestyle show for NASCAR. It was called Totally NASCAR, but I would go to the track and file stories. And then in the pits for the truck series, for sports car races, IndyCar races, and NASCAR. So yeah, for a long time. And then we'd host the pre-race show and the post-race show.
What was the most awkward? Is there anything that stands out? Everyone, like whenever an interview happens, probably at that level, so many people watching, like it's just status quo. It's another interview. Is there ever one that really went bad, that was really awkward, that was on live TV that you can recall?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've done some bad interviews. I think when you say that though, what jumps into my mind is, so for pit reporting, you've got the headset and you're plugged into, like with you guys have your like live views, your equipment. I have a jetpack, and I would the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Coke 600 is like 4.5 hours long. So at some point I have to use the bathroom. I mean, it's not all the time.
Or the 2-wheel drive class at Bowling Green.
Same thing. Right.
Same thing.
Well, that pro stock class and Wellington too. So I say we have a pit spotter. I have a person who's like listening to a scanner, kind of assisting me in the pits. And I say, I'm going to run into the bathroom. I still have my headset on. So I leave it on the counter in this bathroom, and I'm turned up and I'm in the stall, and I hear the pit producer say through the headset that's, several feet away, Krista can add on the 20. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what's happening. So I literally run out of the stall and just gave the most bogus baloney report I'd ever of my life, and did a report from the bathroom basically with no monitor and no idea I didn't know if he was in the pit. I didn't know if he had wrecked. I just gave a very generic report.
Awesome.
After you did that, was anybody like, what the hell was that? Or did
no one knew. I walked out and this bathroom was like a hospitality building. So it was like a building. I walk out, and my pit spotter, who was an elderly gentleman, John, he is awesome. The coolest guy in the world. Like John goes to Austria skiing, and he's like 70 years old. He's so cool. And he said, how did you just do that? And I said, I have no idea what I even said. I just, so it was fun. It's just, there were long races. There's a lot of stuff. So it's just trying to capture. I think NASCAR is trying to do the same thing as you guys are, trying to capture different demographics, trying to find the viewers and the fans who, you're trying to turn them into maybe truck and tractor pulling fans, or they love NASCAR. They love drag racing, but they don't know anything about tractors, but they know the thrill of competition. They know the nuts and bolts. So let's bring them in. Let's figure out how to capture them and grab them too.
Okay, so you being an outsider and obviously coming from around NASCAR, what do you think tractor pulling needs to do to maybe improve?
So I don't know if this is going to be popular or not, but again, just with what I'm
we're definitely listening.
Okay.
You're not going to alienate us as you like.
No, you're not going to alienate us.
They're just too long. Like, it's like the fact that we started in Wellington at 6:30, and we were not even into the light super stocks or the pro stocks 4.5 hours later, right? Like, it just, I don't know what that is. I know that you want to get every entry fee you can. You want every competitor you can, but it doesn't need to be a cap on, especially with, pro stocks, slower to the line. I mean, the minis and the unlimiteds, that thing was flying. The minis and unlimiteds were just clicking, and it was awesome. Then all of a sudden we got to the light super stocks, and it was like, whoa, like this. So I think just the length, I know baseball, like to find an example in baseball, instituted the pitch clock. Just got to speed the game up, right? No one's going to sit in front of their television for hours on end to watch a baseball
bananas.
game. Yeah, Savannah Bananas. They're in Pittsburgh this weekend.
So,
are you going?
Ticket to there's probably.
Oh,
like
I'm gonna be in Canton. Why would I go to the Savannah
Oh.
Bananas when full
Blaze
live
Weekend's
is in
happening
Canton?
this weekend, Tyler.
You get to hang out with Chase instead of see the Savannah Bananas. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well
Krista,
played.
so since leaving, I guess your NASCAR was around 2020. Is that correct? Was the last time you were with NASCAR?
Yeah.
What's I know you have an awesome daughter, but what's life for you now besides on Full Pull Live? What else are you doing?
Right. So I work in
You
local
actually
news.
have a lot of fans. I didn't like
Oh.
you brought people to our show that weren't.
Oh, really? That's awesome. See,
Yeah.
again, that's my fear. I just don't want to, I want to do the sport justice, be fair to the fans. So if you're in Canton and you see me or you have story ideas or you have a cool story, especially in the grandstands, like if there's a fan that is like, they've been to 45 years of tractor pulling, let's see them. Let's talk to them. Or a first time fan, a little 8-year-old that knows everything about tractors. I mean, that's fun because that's the human interest, level. So I think just the emotion, the spirit, but yeah. So I'm an executive producer at a local station in Pittsburgh for like lifestyle shows for the Today Show of Pittsburgh. So
That's
it's a
wild.
lot of,
Do you ever give advice to people that are, on the other side of the camera holding the microphone, and are they unaware of your past and they're kind of looking at you like, yeah, what do you know? And you're
it's
just
so
like,
funny that you say that because I actually taught a college class for sports journalism, and everyone wants to be on ESPN, right? Like that's like when I was in college, it was I want to be on ESPN, but you have to be the 20-year-old in the pits with a webcam, sort of like doing your own thing to gather those skills, right? Maybe you're not posting it anywhere because again,
right.
Someone else has the rights to it. You're not going to, but you have to develop those skills of how to tell a story, how to write, how to find the hook, how to bring someone in. No, you can't just jump on ESPN right out of the gate. And I feel like kids today, they just don't want to do the work, right? You have to do the work first. But yeah, when I was started at this station, I would give some advice. And there was one reporter in the newsroom who knew who I was. And he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Well, it's like this. I love to write. Like I love to write, and this is television." And yeah, I don't know. I have a skill set that doesn't really get used all the time anymore, but I'm also still writing and solving problems and putting out fires in different ways. So, from on any given day, I'm talking to like Bill Cowher, the former Steelers coach, to figuring out how to get a food segment, in the kitchen and forgetting to bring the forks. Like I'm the person who constantly will line up 17 details and then they'll go to take a bite out of something, the host, and they don't have a fork. That's me.
I love it.
I love it.
Coming from Iowa and you moved to Pittsburgh, has your Yinzer accent started to take on yet?
No, I still have a little bit of Minnesota. Like I still have a little bit of oh yeah. Like my mom's a big, she's got the oh yeah even from Iowa. My husband would say, yeah, PK would say that's my mom's accent. I don't know. I think I say nebby. Like nebby is a big Pittsburgh Yinzer word. Do you know what nebby means?
No.
Drum roll.
Yeah, nebby. You're nosy, right? Like you're so nebby.
Oh.
Like what do you guys? What is that? Hey, what's that behind you? What's that? Like you're nebby. You're just nosy.
Yeah,
so that's nebby. A big.
Okay, I learned something. I like it.
Yeah, you hear the Yinzer accent. One of our guests coming up here, Colin Ross. He's got a touch of it. I listen to Pat McAfee. They definitely got a touch of it.
They've got it for sure.
They got it going on. I just love it.
Downtown. You gotta go downtown.
Downtown.
G yet downtown.
Yeah, I love it. Hammer down.
Okay,
I love it.
We obviously there's a lot of crossover motorsports fans. We got to drill you on a couple. I have to drill you on a few NASCAR driver questions like favorites and worst and so forth. So if you don't want to answer, just hit the pass button. It used to be the Adam pass button, but we've graduated to that since he didn't like me saying it. So who is the biggest asshole to deal with on an interview in your NASCAR history?
What a loaded question.
Or what was the most dreadful one? Like this guy's, it's just
okay. I can answer this. And PK and I would probably say the same person. I feel like because we sort of were in the same. He started in the sport before me, so he has many more years and much more experience. But we also were kind of in that sweet spot of NASCAR when it was really popular. So a tough interview was Bill Elliott, who's Chase Elliott's dad. When Bill was driving, he just wasn't a big fan necessarily of media. He was there to drive that car and then get to the airport and get out, race out. Yeah. I think once Chase started driving and he saw the saw it from a parent point of view, a sponsor. Hey, Chase has to sell Napa. Chase has to be a representative of Napa Auto Parts. He really mellowed. So it came full circle a little bit, but I would say in his heyday, Bill was a tough one.
I called him asshole. You didn't. That was just a tough interview. Well, Billy Elliott's probably watching, right? She didn't.
Yeah, right.
He did. I saw him in the comments. Actually, he's a big fan.
Okay. Question number 2: who is your favorite, not driver, but just person, like your most favorite NASCAR driver, like as a human being?
Oh my gosh. So Trevor Bayne, I don't know if you know that name. He won the Daytona 500 really young, like 20 years old.
Wood Brothers.
Yeah. Yep. He won for the Wood Brothers. He was just a sweetheart, just a good kid, kind of married his sweetheart, had kids, just a really good guy who didn't really ever he won the biggest race there is, but then didn't really, have opportunities after that. He was the one that just jumped into my mind.
Didn't he have like some sort of health issue too?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at you guys. You guys know so much.
Krista, I'm telling you, like I was watching Canton last year, and when I'm watching a tractor pull, like maybe most people do, I'm kind of listening. And then when the pull goes, I pull the phone up and I'm watching it. I'm going, I know this voice. Because I used to be an avid, NASCAR super fan for, I don't know, a long time. Sundays I'd be up here in the shop working and I just have it on. And I guess you get that voice recognition in your head. Like you hear it. I'm like, I know that voice. And then I was going, what the hell is she doing on there? There ain't
from
no
Canton
way.
last year.
Yes, absolutely. Because that was the first one, right?
Yeah,
first time
it was.
Yeah. I was watching them and going, because they weren't always cutting to you on the side. You could just hear you talking.
Right.
And I'm going, I know this voice.
Well, here's what's funny with PK. This is classic PK. He'll be like, all right, yeah, you want to come to Canton? It's easy drive. Yeah, let's go to Canton. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, I need you to do these interviews. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's happening? Like, he does this all the time. Last week, Wellington, I didn't know I was on Countdown to Poll Time. I had no idea. It's 4:28. He says, hey, get back to the desk and join Dan. It's on at 4:30. So I just.
So speaking of that, so you go to Canton, probably, you probably have because you've been with the Super Farm places, but you're showing up never knowing a single person there. In some instance, I guess, like even at Wellington, you probably never seen a mini rod pull in person, have you?
No, because I wasn't in Wasion, right? So, I think I have, but I don't, because they looked familiar to me. Some of the names were familiar, but I definitely can't just go up to the trailers and be like, I know that's, so-and-so.
No, so, like you show up and you're like, okay, you're gonna interview these people that you know nothing about, basically, and make it happen.
You can go to 3 trailers now. We know you.
It's such a great sport, though, and this is what I think people. How do you sell this on the stream? It's such a family. You're racing, competing against each other, but you're also parked next to your biggest competitor and sharing dinner with them. And the way it's a community. I know you guys talked about this, I think a few weeks ago. Adam, was it you? You were doing like 3 pulls in like 3 different cities, and you were going to spend the night. Oh, it's Tyler. Yeah. Yep. And you're talking about how I'm going to go spend the night at the Boyds and do the, people don't realize that that's what you have to do. You're on the road so much that you become a family, and their house becomes your house. And because why else would you travel? Like the crazy amount of miles that you guys do, spending the money that you do for this one pass, that 15
or 3
seconds. Or 3, yeah.
I had to get 3 just to get enough fulfillment,
It's no, I tell people all the time, mini rod class is my favorite, as you all probably know watching this podcast, but genuinely, like the guys that we run with, I consider maybe, except for probably one vehicle, these people like great friends of mine.
Oh, who's that one, Chase? Yeah.
I don't think we need to get into that right now. This is about Krista Voda. But we're talking 30, 40 people, like literally I would one ring and they're picking up the phone, and likewise it's a very tight knit community, and that's why I love the class a lot. Just people in it. So, Krista, my last question on the NASCAR drivers.
Yeah. You had more. Okay.
Who would be the best tractor puller if they're thrown into a tractor pulling scenario, knowing what you know about the drivers you're around?
Okay, I don't know a lot of the young ones now, so I have to go back to like 4 years ago, 5 years ago when I was in it. But I would say the most interested, like Tony Stewart and Clint Boyer, they would hang out in Bowling Green. Like if it wasn't, I think it was always like Bristol or Michigan was the same weekend.
Yeah, you just come down a lot.
Yeah, I like Tony Stewart loves Bowling Green. I mean, PK and Tony Stewart will talk dirt all night long. Like they will text each other about the quality of dirt at Eldora. And it is the silliest thing because I don't understand it. But I think Tony Stewart would be the most interested in it. Clint Boyer would probably piss his pants to get on like an unlimited or a mini rod. Like he would just go.
I talked to him a couple of years in a row. We actually knew him from Shell Pennzoil because we did some stuff at Vegas with them guys and stuff like that. He absolutely loves it. I mean, he just talked to him a couple of times at Bowling Green. He was just like, dude, this is the biggest shit show I've ever seen. And I love it.
It's unbelievable how much the worlds really are different but the same. You know, it's that again, like how do you strap that kind of power and energy to the you know your butt and just go down the track? I mean, it's crazy. The adrenaline rush has got to be unreal for you guys. So if I can, like I said, sell a little bit of that to someone in the stands or, you know, someone watching on Full Pull Live, then that's pretty cool. And your team is great too. I will say, like PK, here's the thing too. He knows my limitations. Like he knows what I know. So he's really good about like, hey, first time build for this driver, you know, and feeding me some of that stuff through an intercom so that I'm not a complete idiot, hopefully. So if I do a really bad interview, we could blame him too, maybe.
There you go. That's a good system. So touching on him, pullers are known for coming home with some pretty stupid purchases that are pretty hard to justify.
Mhm.
What's the dumbest purchase that PK has made and took home where you're just like, what is this and what is it for? And it cost how much?
Yeah, well, the one that jumped to mind was as soon as you said that, and so it would be fun if we did this where right now you guys asked him or somehow asked him to see what he texts back.
Ooh.
Because I feel like he's going to text surfboard.
Oh,
he bought a surfboard. We live in Pittsburgh, right? There's not a body of water
Oceanfront property
anywhere to surf. And we were we had this rule, you know, when you're married, you're supposed to like, what is that amount of money that you're supposed to tell the other person that you spent, you know?
Yeah,
and we're trying to figure out what that was. And we're actually on a flight and he's reading a magazine and a surfboard picture or, you know, some kind of beach picture. And he goes, oh, by the way, surfboard. And I was like, yeah, I don't even know where it is. It's not in our house right now, as far as I know. But did he bring Mad Dog 2020 to Toma? That's a big. We drink some Mad Dog.
Yeah, he didn't bring it, but I drink it. Oh yeah.
Okay, I gave it to him for Bowling Green, so he should have had it in Bowling Green, I think, unless he.
It's not that you're getting older, Chris. It's that you all drink that shit. That's what's wrong with you.
Whatever.
Yeah,
that got me through college.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could hang with that either.
No.
Oh, come on. Good stuff.
No.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, I could do it, but you're going to have to prep me with about, a dozen Busch Lights first, and then I can probably drink
it. Ain't that bad. Jeez, it's like Goldschlager. It isn't even that bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one thing I've noticed in NASCAR compared to pulling is obviously they have the ability to affect each other's run because they're sharing the track where we get a solo appearance out there. Mm-hmm. And so all the pullers are always buddy. And as a whole in their interviews, they're all, oh, it's just so good to do so well and such a tough group of competitors that I respect so much. Meanwhile, in NASCAR, you got a guy mid-interview and somebody's running over trying to throw fists with him.
Right.
And really, it makes a bit of a storyline and some excitement. So witnessing both sides of that, do you think pullers need to kind of poke fun at each other and get some rivalries going and maybe get some drama going behind the scenes to create some excitement?
I don't hate it. So I think that could work. I think for me, though, again, I'm kind of such a new fan. I don't necessarily know if I'm looking for change in the way, for me, the change would be like shortening the length of the night, right? Like keeping it sort of like we call on television a lot snackable, right? Like what's that snackable amount of time that someone is like, how you finish a book and you're like, or a movie and you're like, oh, I wish it was still going. I wish it was still happening. Right now, I don't think we have that in tractor pulling because it keeps going. And there were fans there. I mean, there were fans that were still there, but you look in the stands for the pro stock and there was a lot that had gone home. It was midnight. So sure. I think we just have to find how to make it snackable. But I don't hate that. I think rivalries are always fun.
Was there ever moments in NASCAR where that was encouraged behind the scenes or was it more discouraged?
No, it would be. So powers that be would say, oh, we got to discourage that. There's going to be fines. There's going to be trouble.
Yeah,
but then you'd see a commercial the next day. And what's the clip? What's the highlight? It's, oh, boys will be boys. I think that was actually their mantra one year was, or boys at it. Boys have at it was boys have at it. So it was like, oh, don't do that. but we're going to go ahead and market that for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna highlight the shit out of it, but
Yeah.
shame on you for sure.
Yeah.
Any chance that we'll ever see you drive a super farm tractor?
Oh my gosh, probably not. So he's tried to get me on when it was antiques, you know, like on Saturdays, like that might be more my speed. I don't even think I could. Like, even when I'm responsible for pulling him out of the trailer, I am petrified that I'm going to do something wrong. I am scared. I want no responsibility or accountability other than air pressures, just because I feel like I've got, that's my wheelhouse.
Make sure the gauge is right. Just saying.
That's true. I know. Don't give me something else to think about.
Well,
So-
I gotta ask. I've seen you do an interview saying that the main reason you stepped away from things is obviously you guys have a daughter, you know, and the only way you would travel is if you could kind of do it more as a family.
Mhm.
But obviously, with your husband doing what he's doing, do you think there's a possibility we'll see more of you on the pulling circuit?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I guess that's kind of up to you guys and PK, right? Like he might get tired of me, especially if I start drinking Mad Dog 2020 with you guys at like midnight. I might get benched.
He'll have to tell you he can only do one night. He can no longer tell you he can do one night. He'll show you can do like 3 or 4 nights in a row.
I know. He's gonna go strong. He's gonna come strong to the mic, and then both of us will be on Monday, be like, "Why did we do that?"
There you go.
That'll happen.
Krista, we much appreciation. You could be the most famous person we've ever had on this podcast.
I would say so.
Which is
I'm only big at the Waffle House. Those are my peeps.
Well, I guess we'll have to take you up on a Waffle House at a pool nearby soon. I'm sure they have them in Canton. So thank you for giving us the time. Thank you for the candid answering of the questions and the advice that you gave regarding for those people out there what to do to be PK to get a Krista. Basically, you said just be a what? A player?
A player. He's a player.
Yeah.
I don't know player. No, wait. I don't want to say because he should not be a player, right? Like
You
we've been
said
married.
player. Those are your words, not ours.
He was a player. He was a player.
You got to know where the party's at. Know where the party's
See
at.
this? Okay, I also know him well enough to know I cannot issue a challenge because if I say, "Oh, he's not a player," he's going to say, "Like, hey, watch this." So hold my beer.
Sneaky suspicion about PK is he looks so innocent.
I know.
And, you're saying he's not. I love it.
Yeah, he's a silent assassin. So
he is, but he knows where the party is, and he loves tractor pulling, and he loves full live, and he's excited to grow the sport. So,
cool.
Awesome.
Krista, thank you for your time. We'll see you at Canton this weekend. Tuning in Friday and Saturday night, and maybe we'll have you back from the No Practice podcast again. You can show us what beer you're drinking one day.
Oh, that sounds fun. That's good. I still have a little bit. I've almost got it finished.
Very good.
All right. Well, cheers. Thanks for your time.
Have a good night. Yeah, cheers. See ya. Krista Voda.
Cool,
Kelly.
sure.
Krista Voda Kelly, I think, is what she goes by now, but she was Krista Voda for.
So it's that's what happens when you're really famous, right? And then you have to change your last name. You have to put the hyphen in there, kind of like this. Oh, we're going to go to hell if we don't mention it. You think Travis Kelsey Swift is going to change his name?
It will be Travis Swift.
No, Travis Kelsey Swift.
Travis
Easily.
Kelsey. Yeah. What's your all's thoughts on all that?
My thoughts are I was hoping we'd make it through the show without mentioning it.
The only reason I said it because like when Chase said, because we were talking about this before when she was or I said something like, "Hey Chase, just want to let you know we got to get her on there. Everybody thinks that she does such a good job." And Tyler's like, "Yeah, who is that? Because she's really good." And he's like, "Well, it's Krista Kelly." And he's like, "Who's that?" You know, like not that he would have known if we would have said her other name, but like. When you're known by something, I guess you have to be called by it. So she did a phenomenal job. I think it's great. Even as like, because there is that downtime in between hooks. And this is where a single track definitely needs an interviewer like that. I mean, that was pretty cool. She asked great questions. She really, as an onlooker, she's very smart and knows how to ask and get and throw the subtle throws in there for like when she was interviewing Schmuckers about talking about Canton's pull and promoting it. Like that's what good reporters do. And she is a phenomenal one. I wish that we had more people like her in our sport.
My biggest takeaway for me on all that, and I agree with everything you said, Adam, was how quickly she responded to like, basically, you got to make this shit shorter. The pulls are too long.
Hello.
her perspective, I like, you could tell that was one she's thought about a lot. Like, if this was shorter and not so long, it could be a better show. So
yeah, women are always telling you that, right, Chase?
Hence the reason why I asked earlier in the week on Facebook, where do people start losing interest in a class? It has nothing to do with cutting down the class sizes or anything like that, because we want everybody to come to the pool. We just understand that the attention span of fans is about 20 to 25 vehicles. And however we can set up a pool to keep the fans engaged, I think from a big standpoint, now that the classes are getting bigger and the numbers are getting bigger, we have to keep the people entertained. And
I'm telling you, unlimited hitch height, and the numbers are going to thin out, and it's going to be more entertaining.
Maybe we need to make the show shorter because the tech officials need to be more engaged too through the whole show. Could you imagine being out there flagging a show for 5 to 6 hours and how miserable that would be?
Those guys are legends.
It sounds miserable to me to be out there anything longer than a few hours. But speaking of, we're going to stay positive, tech officials.
That's right.
We're bringing back the fan favorite segment, the Man I Wish There Was Practice segment. Start the intro, and then we'll let Tyler take it from there. If she's
the Man I Wish.
The No Practice Podcast. Man, I wish there was a practice segment.
Oh my God!
All right, and I believe we have a guest for this that we're going to bring in as well, correct?
We do. He is backstage.
Look at this handsome gentleman with a cow in the background, Mr. John Link. How are you doing this evening?
John,
I'm working on the computer, guys, huh?
You're live on air. How are you?
Yeah.
I just got done working with a large feed yard. They have like 80,000 head of beef cattle, and I've tried for 2 years to get their ration, and tonight I got to meet with them at the country club. So forgive me if my speech is a little slurred, but
good.
I did get the sale.
Did you get the deal done? All right. Well, cheers.
Hell yeah.
Cheers, John. Another year of pro stock pulling coming, right?
Beef market's doing really good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, beef cattle are doing really good. Yeah.
Tyler, I think you can take this segment and run with it.
Yeah.
We have John on there.
John, hopefully you can see your screen here. We've got a couple clips to play of your passes at Bowling Green, starting with the Friday night pass in a two-way pull-off featuring none other than Mr. John Link. We're going to take a look at this pass here, if Backstage can throw it on the screen. And, John, I'm sure you're thrilled to watch the replay of this pass once we get it up here. We see it taking off from the starting line. Of course, 2 in the pull-off. We see a green light, green flag. Smoke's looking good. Front end's carrying real nice. Honestly, pretty good-looking run, but there's a bit of humidity that's leaving the front end of your tractor, but, I mean, shouldn't be too big of a deal, right, John? I mean, it's not much of a problem. How did that end for you, sir?
Yeah, well, you guys kind of know the story on that. I'm like,
no, we don't. That's why we're asking.
Oh, okay.
Tell us the story, John.
So, like, the intercooler cracked, like, somewhere is in that run there. I don't know if that's the first run, second run, or the third run. I apologize there for not knowing where I was at there on the trip.
That was your pull-off pass, John.
Oh, the pull-off pass? Yeah. Well, so if that was the pull-off pass, I was a little concerned that when I went back to the pits and obviously cooled rev off, that Red International I have with a red engine in it. You know that one?
Yeah, Revelation Pro for you fans that didn't
know.
One! Yeah, we didn't give you a proper introduction, John. Sorry.
Yeah, well, if you guys want to go ahead, I think everybody might know it. I mean, I'm not that popular of a guy down here in West Texas. I mean, well, we like to literally fly the airplane under the radar. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And so when we came back there, I had no idea that we were, actually watering down the track a little bit, or had water coming out of rev like we did. And Like none of the track officials said nothing, or they didn't say like, "Hey, man, you had like some fluid there." And so when we came back, I had no idea because we don't have video. I mean, I don't get to watch myself. I get pulled off the track right away at Bowling Green. You get put on the scale. No one said nothing to me, and so I get back to the track or the hauler, and we're frantically cooling her down because we're thinking, that early in the class, 50 tractors or something or whatever the deal was there. It's like, yeah, someone's gonna get out, right? And Rev just laid down a hell of a run. I mean, that was just, she did it down there at Farley, and she came back out there again, and obviously made a pretty good run there at Bowling Green, and so we were trying to cool it down, and then the next thing I kind of know is I get a call. I was talking to Kane, and they're like, hey, you're gonna have to come back out there because I think they're gonna have a pull off. And so if I would have known a little bit ahead of the time that we were gushing water, I would have been able to kind of pull down the hatches a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So my intercooler cracked. Yeah, I don't want to be talking the whole time here, guys. You guys can fill in the gaps.
Keep going. No, you're doing great. You're setting the scene beautifully.
Yeah, we're gonna hit them with 7 different kinds of smoke when we get done with this, right? Yeah, I get it.
Oh, we're gonna hit them, all right.
So, we literally get back out there and did not know that we were, we had laid that much water, because Rev historically, if you go back and look at what she's done in the past, is not, she's not a habitual water dripper, she's not a waterfall. Yeah. And the cooler had cracked. I didn't know it. And, obviously we came back in the pull off there, and I could tell it in the pull off immediately, because usually I take that thing to about like 48, and then I turn the cooler on. The John Deere's you can turn the cooler on quicker, but the Internationals, you got to wait for the cooler to come on quite a bit later. And if you watch the smoke, you can see that I kind of struggled with it, with how white it was there. And like it had trouble coming out. And so I literally shut the cooler back off and flicked it back on again, because, it was shoving so much water through there, and, the engine couldn't take it all.
Mm-hmm. So when you say
does that make sense?
The intercooler's leaking water into the engine, hints that it's putting more water injection into the engine, putting the fire out, instead of doing what it should be doing, correct?
Well, you see how you're right at the beginning there. You saw how white it was. I mean,
sure.
Historically, that thing throws a teepee up there like an Indian. Like, woo, we're ready to roll, and it didn't do it that night. And I knew, because I had to clutch it so much to try to. You see how it was fighting? It was just laboring.
Oh yeah.
And I was clutching it, pulled the throttle back a little bit, clutched it a little bit more to try to get that. Then I knew automatically, I'm like, oh my God, we got something wrong. So I threw the cooler back off to let her warm up a little bit, and then hit it again. And that's when I knew that I had a cooler problem. I didn't know it prior to that. So if I would have known or saw a video of that earlier, I would have said, oh shit, I have a cooler problem. And maybe would have just left the damn thing in the trailer.
Yeah. So
how many people were in the pull off?
2.
2 people in the pull off, right?
2.
And I was gonna tell you, man, if you're saying if you would have known it was leaking that much water, you would have shut her down anyways, because it's not good on it, probably, is it, with that thing leaking like that?
Well, at that point, when you're upstairs like that, it ain't gonna hurt. It's shoving it the other direction. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Speaking of leaving it in the trailer, when the results came around, you might as well have left it in the trailer. Isn't
shit. Yeah. Why wreck a pass on a bearing? Robbie, if Robbie would have said, like, damn, Link, what the hell did you come out of the trailer and put another pass on those bearings for? It was like stupid.
So skip the labor, give me the baby, John. What did they tell you after you made that pass?
Well, that's one of my, I don't know. don't want to. I'm not a drama guy, and I travel all the way from Texas. You guys,
Yeah.
I fly up there. I leave my stuff up at Wildman. The tractor is either at Wildman's or at Robbie's place. And I mean, if I didn't have those two guys doing this would be a very, very, very difficult procedure to, pull at that level with, you guys in that arena. And so, go ahead.
We understand you're respectful, John, but to the people that don't know, tell them what happened.
Yeah. So you're
not gonna hurt any feelings on this podcast.
There's people that don't know what I'm referencing, John. They need to be educated.
Okay, well, point me in a direction a little bit here, and then I'll reference them a little bit. I don't want to like I said, I'm just
John. If you were
told you got DQ'd.
If you were to get a Blizzard from some place that sells food and ice cream, and the name of it starts with 2 letters or is known for 2 letters, what would that be?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
what is it? What is it, John?
All drama aside. All drama aside, I was a little miffed at the
I love it.
information that I didn't get, and literally, if I would have known that on the pull off, knowing that I had that much water and I had that problem, which I didn't like when. The first hook, it lit and went fine. But obviously, if you watch the second deal, you can see it, right? I mean, it's not, we're not pulling anybody's underwear over their ears here. But
heavens no.
Yeah, and I would have never brought the damn thing back because, I mean, you guys know what it costs to run a pro stock, and every run is critical.
John, what does MIF mean?
MF, dude.
Oh, MIF. Okay, I got you.
Okay, John.
So John, you say you would. Oh, go ahead, Adam.
I'm sorry. I say, John. So you said you wouldn't bring it back a second time if you knew. But tell us about the third pass.
Oh, the third pass. Saturday. Yeah. So the third pass, when we knew I got DQ'd, and I didn't even know, like, apparently the NTPA and PPL or whatever, usually they usually tell you like, hey, you're DQ'd right there. I didn't even get told when I went across the scale. Like I got back to the trailer and, nothing was said. And then all of a sudden I get phone calls from people from Texas and Wisconsin saying, what the hell happened? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I ran back over to the starting line there and like, man, you got DQ'd. And I'm like, what? And so, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at my drippage of water and you look at pro stocks in general for drippage of water going in, it's kind of bullshit,
Oh, kind of. Oh, John, I don't blame you for feeling that way. So for those that are just catching up, John not only got DQ'd Friday in a 2-way pull-off, but he also got DQ'd Saturday, and it sounds to me like the poor rascal found out from some onlookers that were checking out the results online, and that's when he was informed that he got the DQ, which is very unfortunate. But, John, we actually wanted to bring you on here to educate you and show you what a good, clean pass does look like, so that you won't get disqualified the next time around. So perhaps you can walk away from this evening as a bit of a learning experience. So don the spectacles and pay attention here, John. We've got
I got my hearing aids in too. I'm listening.
I've got a video here of a John Deere. Now take notes, John. This is how you're going to want to execute this. All right? Are you paying attention?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. All right? Did you catch that?
Yeah, it looks like the same kind of Niagara that I had, but
No, I don't think it was.
John, completely different. Completely different.
Oh, it's a green tractor. What the hell is wrong with me? Yeah.
No. So yeah,
This has nothing to do with who's driving the tractor, who owns it, or anything like this.
No, it doesn't.
We're
It's
not
just the one
throwing
I
shade
can think of.
John, I got a better idea. I think next time you maybe just need to hit the chalk line, because I don't think you get DQ'd if you do that.
Oh.
Now, Adam, that might earn you a positivity check there, mister. I don't know about that. No, we had to poke some fun at you there, John.
I can tell.
What are you gonna learn from this situation going forward to better your program? Will you perhaps put some sort of a diaper underneath of the tractor to catch any excess moisture?
Yeah, maybe not put any in at all. The other thing is like, and I don't want to go there, but holy shit, the first time in a few years we get a couple red tractors that run half-ass decent in that circuit, and then I'm like, well, shit, maybe I'm not in the club, maybe I'm not in the right NTPA club or the PPL club, which I don't think they have them, but if there is, I'm like pissed. It's like. And I'm frustrated enough that I called the boys. I called about 3 different people this week, and I'm said, you know what?
Who did you call?
I'm done with this shit. I'm like, you know what? I work so fucking hard at my business, and I work so damn hard. When I go to Wisconsin, you guys, I don't just have Robbie and Craigie and Kurt that work on my stuff. I mean, it's these damn claws that work on all that shit. And that I take a lot of pride in that. And I put the whole fucking thing for sale. I mean, it's everything is for sale.
Really?
Yeah, I'm done.
Done?
I just said, I was so pissed at that deal. Rob called up the other day. He's like, man, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you know what, Rob, you built a hell of a hot rod. And Craigie goes like, shit, I keep it up at Craigie's place most of the time, and I'm like, it's not that it was like poor me, and I'm not a drama guy, and I got so damn much business. We started that Spill Wrangler deal down here, and we were out to Vegas, or not Vegas, but Phoenix last week, trying to get we didn't try. We got a major distributor for nationwide distribute of the Spill Wrangler product now. And so it'll be in a store near you.
Really?
Tell us about what that is, John, and where it can be found while you're on here.
Yeah, so that's a great deal. We just signed a company. Zach Link and I, my son, just signed with a nationwide distributor in Phoenix this last week that is going to start to get Spill Wrangler out into like all these different. The different Napas. We figured out like O'Reilly's Napas, like Giebel's, Tractor Supply, Farm and Fleet, the Tyson's, all these companies that are like farm and ranch type stores, and there's way many more that I don't know. I'm kind of taking that whole nucleus from the South to the Midwest, and then the East and the West I really don't know. But there's only like a couple groups of people that harness all that energy. Like they go to these companies and they have 20 different items that they bring to them, and it's very hard. My son and I found out this year, because I'm a dairy cattle feed guy, and feed yard stuff. I don't have to deal with this stuff, and I was gonna say shit, but I kept my mouth.
Oh, you're right.
Well done.
Butterfly.
I was impressed. Yeah.
You already dropped the F-bomb twice.
A lot of discipline here. Anyway, so we went ahead and we got with this company, and after this last weekend, we said, oh man, there's no way that we are going to be individually be able to hit this marketplace unless we go with one of them companies. And they used a little Vaseline on us, and we signed, and hopefully now it's like, they want us to put a couple $1 million worth of inventory in their warehouse. And I said, between this and that, I'm like, I'm selling my polling deal for whatever timeline, and it kind of pissed me off this last week a little bit. And I didn't think I was done right, but if it's because I'm a small team, whatever. We've got some friends in that whole deal, but I didn't think it was right.
Well, I got to say, John, we didn't mean to poke at a wound, and the Pulling family will definitely miss your presence because you definitely light up a room when you walk into it. So I'm going to be definitely
leaving, John. We don't need you gone for long. And you said
I'm going to be against. I'm going to be against anyone.
Go ahead. Sorry, Tyler.
I'm going to be against anyone buying John Link's tractor. Do not buy it from him. That way, he's forced to keep running it and running the series. So. Putting the word out now, nobody buy it, so he has to keep running.
John, go ahead. Sorry.
I'd probably like to build another one at some point, but I was pretty miffed, and you see these video. I didn't see that video. Actually, that video that you guys just played there, I hadn't seen that, but yeah, it's kind of, I don't know.
Do you honestly believe that water is going to make that sled stop any differently?
Well, hey, you guys look in the mirror. You ask yourselves that question.
Hey, we're no blow by here. No blow by here.
Well, you guys got enough oil to freaking.
No, not this team.
You could artificially inseminate a fucking
not this team.
Elephant with all the oil that you guys lay down.
You sure about
shit.
That?
I know.
I might have some rods hanging out this weekend, but I guarantee there's no oil blowing on these tractors. Now, Chase, on the other hand, that thing's pumping.
Yeah, Chase, he's like a one-nutted barn squirrel. He's losing shit all the time.
Yeah. He's got some loose gaskets, as they say.
Yeah, for sure. John,
sorry, Chase, but you're easy prey.
No, I appreciate honesty. I need it in my life. You said one thing, and we're going to let you go. I didn't realize you were getting out of pulling when we were bringing.
No, I had no idea.
We're going.
I'm not, but
you're coming back, dude. You're coming back. We talked you into it.
Yeah. It's just like what are you going to do?
So do you think there's some pro stock racism between like green and red tractors?
Oh, look at Chase always bringing race into it.
Well, no, or not race. What would you call it? Brandism.
It's been a long time since Tim and I talked to Tim here I talked to Tim quite a bit, Tim Kane, and there's other international tractors that are running good right now. They're obviously Shelton's got some stuff that's working good, and I just think this Lemke stuff has historically been, throughout this last year, been pretty damn awesome, right?
Right.
And if there is something, shame on you. The Lord's my vindicator, and God got me this far. He'll get me the next level, and I'm not. It's not for me to point fingers or whatever. It's like, it was. I'll tell you what. It was really funny, you guys. Real quick, that Farley deal over there. I was in my prayer time in that morning when I was actually driving down to Farley, and the Lord goes like, "You're gonna have a hell of a weekend down here." I don't know if he really said that, but it was pretty close to that, right? And what happens to me? I'm like the last in the class, but then I get the lucky dog, right?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, lucky dog drawing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then we come back and we got second or third or something like that. Third, I guess, that night. And it's like, a lot of times what God has in front of you is not exactly how you thought it was going to go. I'm like, I get back to the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, you said I was going to have an amazing weekend this weekend. And I'm last in the class. But then, 20 minutes later, I'm the lucky dog. And then we go out on Saturday and, we're like third, it's like, you just never know what happens, right?
Yeah. All right.
I love it.
Amen to that, John, and amen to you saying you're not getting out of pulling. You decided to make it right. So we've gone from selling the tractor. You're back in 2026. Where else are you going to pull in 25, John? Anywhere?
We're done. I mean, I got it parked. We're ready for a freeze up there, and I'm actually going to fly to Wisconsin. I left my airplane up there at Craig and Kurt's. The Wildmans, they got a runway up there in their cornfield, and so I leave my plane parked up there when I can, and I'm going to fly American up there Friday. And I bought a truck up in Pennsylvania, and they delivered it to Bowling Green, and then Craigie drove my toter home and the 3 tractors back to Wisconsin. And I drove the new truck back. So I got one of my drivers are coming up with me, and we're gonna have a steak at a really good steak joint in southern Wisconsin. Have a couple cocktails, and we'll send them off. And yeah,
What's the
kind of
name
winterize shit.
What's the name of the steak joint? We'll do some free advertising for them.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
What's the name of the steak joint in southern Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah, it's Frederick's. It's in Milton, Wisconsin.
Frederick's,
Wisconsin. Yeah, they got one of the best filet. If you ever want to eat a really good filet, like if you guys are up at Hillsboro or something, or Toma, it's a pretty good trek from Toma, but it is one of the best fillets. And you guys are from the Midwest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys have for cocktails in the Midwest? What are
Drinks?
your most?
Bush
Yeah.
Light.
No, that Bush Light. Like I'm talking at a supper club.
I don't even know what those are.
Hey, there's only one dude that lives here on the country club, and it's the guy at the top of the screen right there. He lives on a golf course.
Yeah.
What would ours be? I don't know.
No, but I mean, your families, all your families, when you were in the Midwest, when you go to a supper club, what do you guys?
We don't have supper clubs.
We don't have.
I don't know what a supper club is, Joe.
Come on.
No, I was actually having this conversation with somebody because I have friends in Wisconsin, and like they go to these supper clubs. Like, what the hell is a supper club? We call them restaurants. So, yeah.
We got their Crown and Sprite.
No, not tonight.
Yeah.
For you guys, it's Knob Creek.
There you go.
Ooh,
But the drink of choice with a meal probably I don't know, beer for me.
It has a dozen or 2 dozen ice cubes in it.
Yeah. See, that pollutes it now. So
yeah, you're watering it down.
You're watering it down. You need to be like just straight on the rocks.
It is. But
hey, John, I have to ask you. Now that are you going up to Wisconsin? I was informed by somebody. Are you going up to Wisconsin here, and are you going to clean Robbie's pond?
Oh, well, 2 years ago, I got caught up at Robster's place because his pond was horrible, and they have a 4th of July party every year, and his wife Angie apparently got a picture of me and my skivvies, and I am not a very good swimmer, and so I had Esden's little kayak deal, and then I had like 3 rakes on the back of that kayak, and I was, going through the whole pond, skimming all the pond scum off of the pond so that it was very clear for the 4th of July party. And when I got out of there, some say that I looked at like a Cro-Magnon man, and
sounds pleasant.
Oh, it's a beautiful sight if you're the one doing it, but the people that are watching you might not be so.
No respect for cleaning up the pond, huh?
Yeah. What the hell?
It's all from then on, I've been known as Robbie's pool boy or pond boy.
Everyone needs friends like John Link.
Never a dull moment with Mr. John Link.
We do have a little bit of fun. God has blessed me in so many ways, and if we can have a little bit of fun and make somebody say it's like, you know what? One day I want to be like him. It probably ain't me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, John, appreciate you joining us on the Man I Wish There Was Practice segment. I hate that the circumstances were what they were, but nothing else that positive light in this. So we got you on the No Practice podcast, and we saved your retirement from pulling, if nothing else. We're going to take credit for it, right?
The one thing, guys, it's really a shame. Like, I tried to find you at Bowling Green, but I got lost in the jungle over there. And then at Toma this year, I was really like ashamed that we didn't get together because, you guys got all the horsepower with the speaker system, and we want to get the band back together. I mean, the band, and you guys. Adam's got the speaker, and I want to get my music in his speaker. And
well, I'll tell you what, man, I'll tell you where to get it. It's about $1,500. It's the best thing I ever bought. Just saying.
I know, but we want to compete on music, though. That's the thing.
Okay, then I'll just buy another one.
Yeah,
I have two, but I have another one in mind. That seems to be a hit everywhere we go. I think the speaker has made its impact known.
Well, if nothing else, if we can't
Ken
make
Venny and Joe Etter are huge.
We'll make it with loud music, right?
That's right.
So, John.
No, I love your speaker, Adam. I mean, I really think that you probably really want to be on my team at some point, and me on yours, because we enjoy good music.
That's right.
Perfect.
I'm all about it.
Y'all can name it sound system pulling team.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of there in a corner at Toma, so it rings out really nicely around there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate this year because I actually came down there 2 times this year to kind of look for you guys, and you're like, I don't know if you guys are vultures up in the bleachers or someplace, but
we did.
I didn't see you guys much.
It's one of the only pulls I got to watch this year. So.
Yeah, we were watching the 2-wheel drives get canceled.
So hey, how is you? I want to know how is your guys' season going? Because I really don't keep up. Honestly, I'm sorry.
It's not over yet. That's how it's going. It's not over yet.
I'm not a.
Adam's got
I'm
a
not
chance.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Got a chance.
Adam's got a chance at a championship, but we don't want to jinx him.
Yeah, we don't want to talk. We've already talked about it too much on here.
Yep. So.
The only time I drove with the drive shaft through my scrotum was Alex Laughlin's tractor or his truck down here in Texas, and that was quite a ride. I mean, I really look up to you guys as far as the 2-wheel drive and the mini rods. I think I'm not really sure yet, but being the ability to throttle one of them and off the line. It would make a really good pro stock driver. So, my whole deal out there to you guys is I think you guys would, at least the two-wheel drive guys would be a very good pro stock drivers. And I would share my ride with any of you guys that would share your ride with me.
Oh, that's a hell of an offer.
Deal's done. Tyler doesn't have a 2-wheel drive. I do. Deal's done. Now that you're not retiring, let's figure out a time, place, and we'll do an even trade, John. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved it. I mean, the only thing I'm going to do better this time is Alex and Kenny Laughlin. They never told me about putting like hearing aids and shit in the ears before you put the head sock on and the helmet, and it would have done me a big favor.
I won't do that to you. I'll give you some good earplugs.
I never wear earplugs, John.
As long as you give me a good intercooler, I'll give you the earplugs. So, deal. Cool.
Here we go.
John, it's been fun. Cheers. Congrats on your deal. Congrats on all your successes, and really happy to hear you're not retiring from pulling now. So we look forward to seeing you next time. When at the Farm Machinery Show, probably.
No, I'm going to have Rev sold before then.
Oh, you already said I could drive it.
Oh, I know, but I'll have another Rev built before then.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I'm gonna sell Rev and we're gonna sell the toter, the trailer, and we'll maybe just start over next year or something. I may skip this year's Louisville if all this comes to play, but I'm like, I just want people to know that we have a great hot rod and we have some really amazing people that put that thing together, but just maybe not very appreciative of everything that went down.
Yeah.
Just clean up the leaks.
I got your earplugs. You got an intercooler whenever we change, right? Exchange. So All good. John, appreciate you coming on. Safe travels. We look forward to seeing you soon. And Adam will have his loudspeaker ready to go next time we see you at a pool.
Absolutely.
I can't wait, Adam.
Cool. Thank you,
Tyler.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Tyler, keep it between the banks, man.
Always.
John, have a good night. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
John.
Later.
Yep. Fun guy right there.
That could have been bad because when he's like, I put it up for sale, I was like, oh shit.
Well, no, I didn't know he was feeling that type of way, but we can take the credit for keeping them in, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I kind of feel
Positivity,
bad.
Chase. Good job.
That just goes to show the passion that everyone has, though. I mean, everyone has a good time and so forth, but people are competitive and they want to freaking win. And a guy like him from Texas who puts the resources and miles into it, you hear him loud and clear with what he's saying about how sometimes that circumstances can frustrate the living hell out of you. So, appreciate John coming on. He's a pretty funny guy, and I didn't not know he had a speaker fetish with Adam's speakers. So, Adam, you've made you've made more enemies, but you have one friend with him.
I don't know who loves it more, Joe Etter, Ken Venny, or John Link. I know they're all huge fans.
Oh,
huge fans. Hey,
we have one more guest
earplugs for
on the docket. Anything else we need to cover before we bring the next guest on, Mr. Colin Ross? We've teased it a little bit, but anything to add before we bring him on?
Yeah,
I feel like I just got to reiterate and clarify that the green tractor that was depositing liquid on the track, I mean, no ill will saying they should have been disqualified. I feel like they should just kind of be a little lenient when it comes to, if somebody's got a broken intercooler, maybe don't disqualify them, but I understand the rebuttal also that rules are rules. So I just thought it was a funny situation. So.
Either be consistent or kind of put some, there's too damn people in the pull off,
it's like NFL Sundays, the holding call, it's a judgment call by referees that no team ever likes when it goes their way or doesn't go their way.
Yeah, you look at this, and we're going to get into this a little bit deeper, so we're not quite there yet, but whenever we're talking about pull-offs, like, we advocate for them if they're going to happen. It's been a few amount of years here since we've had pull-offs, and we bring them back for Bowling Green. Hey, whatever you want to do, whatever. I get it. That class there, Pro Stocks, they heat soak those engine blocks, and they're already putting their stuff underneath enough pressure. If you want to make them run pull-offs, you're going to survival of the fittest, but just be consistent.
We can get on this
with
subject
whatever you do, and that goes into a lot of things.
We can do a whole podcast on pull-offs or running twice, but my only statement is I think it's kind of interesting too with those. I don't know a damn thing about diesel, nor do I think I ever will, but knowing when you're preparing to try to win something, if you have to know you got to run twice, maybe that can really change things up potentially, I would say.
Well, you knew because they said it at the driver's meeting.
I'm saying though, from a tune-up standpoint and knowing I got to make this thing run twice and I got to win, it's kind of an interesting concept that we don't see very often, but just something to think about for a future pull-off, no practice podcast, right?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of pull-offs, I believe we have a third guest to bring on. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. He's a team and a name, no secret to anyone. Mr. Colin Ross. You can see the Trill bypass there in the background. Colin, thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing?
Good, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Do you believe in pro stock racism, red tractors and green tractors?
No, I don't think so. I just think it's been heavily dominated by, a certain motor combination that has certain advantages. But I think that the red guys are closing that window, between Robbie and Schnicker, DNR, and, ourselves with Chaos. It's just taking some time because there's just so damn many of them. And, you put 25 of them in a class with all good pullers and, good equipment. Pretty good chance one of them is probably going to do all the right things and be at the right time. So I guess to answer your question, no, I don't believe in it. I don't think.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure John did either, but we had to ask the question because it was kind
of. Chase, he's coming from a class that's heavily dominated by international. I mean, there's really not a lot of John Deeres that run in the Superstock diesel. So
no, I was asking about the Pro Stock class though.
Well, I know, I get it.
So
they probably say the same thing.
Yeah, Colin, been an eventful year for Triple Bypass. You all been campaigning on the alcohol and diesel NTPA points classes. First off, has anyone ever ran both classes that like you all have done to this point? I don't know if anyone comes to mind that has chased the points in both categories. Do you know of anyone?
Not to my knowledge, no. And if it would have happened, it'd been pre or past 1999 when they split the classes. So, to my knowledge, no. I don't think there's been anyone that's tried to do that yet.
It's been super impressive to watch you all do that, just from just being able to make it happen. With the commitment and the amount of time and hours and effort that goes into doing something like that. But what's been your takeaway from chasing both this year? You've been right there with both of them. I think you're sitting second with both categories. Like, what's the state of the union from your standpoint on how this summer's gone?
I'm well pleased with it. I think we all are. We had no intention of running both points circuits, but the weather really helped us a lot. We went to Toma. The first session was rained out in the alcohol class, and I wanted to run because we had some issues at Hutchinson, so we were trying to get caught back up from not making any runs at Hutchinson. So we ran in the open class Saturday afternoon, and we pulled both diesels. So we made 3 runs there. We went to Chapel Hill, ran twice there. Went to Fort Recovery. Of course, we got rained out Friday night, and then Saturday night we were the only. Well, I think light pros were a class that got completed, but we ran that night, and there was 2 tractors left, and it came a rain. And then we went to Rockwell. That was the only time this year we were able to make all 4 hooks and made 4 passes. And then Napoleon and then Bowling Green. So really the schedule with the rainouts and stuff like that is what enabled us to do it. I don't think it could be done. I mean, we don't have enough manpower and enough energy to do it if you had to make, 4 passes at Toma, Rockwell, Fort Recovery, and Bowling Green. I think that would be damn near impossible just because of, the pull-offs, the resets. There's always a possibility, and we've just been very fortunate not to have to put that many runs. Being Rockwell is the only time we had to make 4 legitimate runs. It's been kind of in our favor. So that's the only reason we kind of stuck to it. And, when we left Fort Recovery, we were like, man, if we just got Rockwell and Bowling Green, like we maybe could pull that off, maybe. And it worked well at Rockwell. We had a great, 4 runs there, had a great run at Napoleon and went to Bowling Green, and Bowling Green happened. So, but I'm very proud of what we've been able to do with the tractor. It's took a long time to get to this point. Just the dependability and the reliability, the head and the oil pan between Fort Recovery and 4 passes at Rockwell, it was 5 passes. It was never off. All we did was change oil and adjust valves. And when we can make a tractor perform like that at the highest level and not have to work on it as much as, we have in years past, I'm very proud of the leaps and bounds that we've made. And that's obviously come from a lot of good help here at Ross Tractor, all the guys my dad has here helping us with it, all the people at Chaos Fabrication, all the people at Weimer as well. Without those 3 places in Pennsylvania, none of this would happen. So we're just fortunate to have a lot of good people on our side. And so far I know we're sitting second in both points, but I'm very, very pleased with how the years went so far.
Well, when you say Bowling Green happened, I managed to shotgun a beer in the winner's circle, which seemed eventful, but I think you might be the only person I know to get on microphone and talk about shoving something up another man's ass in the winner's circle, Colin. Yep. Would you care to comment on the situation leading up to that and what was behind that? I know there's some controversy there, but we feel like the people need to know what went on there.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened, and this is the truth, and this is what came from my point of view. So the class started. Well, first off, let me back up.
Should we play the video, Colin? Should we play the video for those?
No, it's all right. I think people.
We're gonna play it at some point. So.
Yeah, we've got it. I mean,
we'll wait till you get off the air.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
what really threw the first salt into the wound was, for years we were always first class on the second session, on Friday afternoon. And then I get up there and now it's like, okay, well, we're last class, which I was a late hook. And, knowing that we're first class in the night, that was kind of tough to swallow, especially being after all the minis, whatever. But, we're not asking for special privilege whatsoever. It's just, that's going to make it tough because there's not going to be very much cool down time between the afternoon session and the night session. But that is what it is. They made their choice. That's fine. So we knew that was going to be tough, to not have much cool down time in that process and whatever. So, we got second in the afternoon session, made a good run. Kent was first hook, made a perfect pass, went 356, I believe. And, did everything perfect. And I'm glad they didn't reset the sled on him because they didn't need to. And I don't think any was going to catch him on an afternoon track, but hats off to him. He made a great run, and we moved on from that. We were good, so we were getting the tractor cooled down. Friday night starts. I walk up to the concrete barrier there on the south side, where on that corner right by the starting line, and I'm standing right next to Mike Chiswick, and I'm getting ready to watch his son Cody go down the track, and Cody runs, makes a great run, goes like 352 or 353. And I'm standing right next to Mike, and I've never done this before in my life. But I asked Mike, I said, Mike, I don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse here, but I'm third from last hook. Terry's last hook. I said, if there's any possible chance that both of us get it out and join Cody in the pull off, I said, are you okay waiting until after the pro stocks run, like the light supers did the night before on Thursday night, which I thought was a great idea. They waited till after the 2-wheel drive trucks ran. Everyone got time to cool down, and they put on an excellent show, in my opinion. And Mike said, yeah, absolutely. That's no big deal. Whatever you guys want to do. And I have two witnesses of that. It'd be my brother-in-law and my sister that was sitting in the Kubota, and they heard the whole thing. And Mike was fine with that. Yep, no problem, whatever we want to do. So fast forward, Jeff Hurt hooks right in front of me. He gets it out, and then I get it out. And then, we come back around. Our hauler is parked right to where everyone comes that are going to pull off.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We're getting throttled. Whoa, we're getting throttled here. We're getting throttled.
This is going bad.
No, we're getting throttled here.
Hang on. Are you there with us still?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Signal jammer. Yeah,
we got throttling your
start again where your hauler was, because everyone's very
Okay.
suspenseful right now where the hauler is. All right.
So our hauler is right like where you come back around in to, for a pull off or a reset or whatever. You know what I mean? Not right by where Bowers parked. So
Sure.
we just, I'm assuming that, Cody's out, Mike's out, and now I know Jeff's out. I don't know what Terry's done yet because, he still has to pull. So we park there, and I'm in no rush because I'm just, once again, assuming that we're going to be after pros. I think, we got plenty of time. I'm going to change oil. I'm going to get some leaf blowers on this thing, put fans on it. Like, we got plenty of time. So I just walk up casually, and I watch Terry run. Terry made a great run, blows out, standing right next to me. And I turn around and I said, hey, he's good. Wait. And
Colin, stop again. Colin, stop.
Whoa.
Right.
I'm here now.
Good. So I walk back toward my Mike and find Jeff. Well, Jeff meets me halfway because he's walking up toward.
Hold on. Colin, hold on a second.
Can you hear
I
us?
see Jeff,
Colin,
and I said, hey, after the pro stock class, that way everyone gets time because everyone that got out, besides Cody, which I think Cody was broke anyway, was hot. So I said, you okay to wait and we can get some cool down time? And Jeff said, no, I want to go now. Oh, okay. I said, well, I'm just, it might be a lot better. I want to go now. Right. And I just pulled years ago, and now I got basically 3 times in 4 hours if we do this. And it would just, I just think it's better if we wait. And I didn't even get that whole sentence out.
Colin, can you hear me?
Wait. All right. Dude.
So this is one of the best moments in the No Practice podcast history, but you've had some bad service. I need you to go back to you're sitting there casually waiting. No, seriously, because it's he's gone.
He's going to get a better connection.
Oh no.
All right, so the suspense of the moment that we heard crystal clear. Colin, are you there?
I just heard a whole bunch of gibberish when he was talking.
I heard an F-bomb in there somewhere, though.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
All right.
He's walking.
My boy's finding some signal.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so
right.
we know.
So somebody pick it, Colin up on where he needs to start.
Colin, so you pull back around into the pits, which you're parked by Bowers there in the infield behind the north side track, and you're going to change your oil and all that stuff. That's where we started getting a little garbled. You had time to cool off. Go from there, sir.
All right, so pull back around there, and so I go up and I watch. I'm going to watch Terry run because he's last hook. So I go up and watch him run. He makes a great pass, blows it out the end, and then Marvin's standing right next to me. So I turn to Marvin and I say, hey, Mike and I talked. We're going to wait. If you're okay with that. And he said, well, go make sure Mike's go with that again, and make sure Jeff's go with it too.
Yep.
So I turn around. I'm like, all right, no big deal. So I walk back towards our tractor, and Jeff meets me halfway because he's walking up towards the starting line. So I see Jeff. I said, hey, are you good to wait until after the pro stock class, and then we'll, do the pull off like the light supers did the night before? And he said, no, I want to go now. And I said, okay, well, I think it'd just be better. Like, we're all hot as hell. Like, yeah, I know we're in the moment. It's Friday night, but like, maybe let's just think about this and what's going to be best for the fans of the show. Like, I think it'd be better if we wait and everyone has time to cool down on a really good show. And he said, no. And I'm like, well, at the point, I'm like, all right, well, we just ran, 3 hours ago in the diesel class, which I get was our choice. And then now we got to make a pull off. So it's going to be like 3 passes in 4 hours. And that's going to be pretty tough. I don't give a shit what it is, super farm, mini. I mean, that's a lot of running in a short amount of time. And before I got all that out, Jeff interrupted me and he's like, yeah, but that was your choice to do that. Like, no one told you had to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but this is also the, first pool that you've been to all year. And me and Terry's been running and gunning on the points series. And we're just, I'm thinking me and Mike's already got an agreement that we're going to wait. And we're first and second in the points. So I would think that not getting special treatment, but we could kind of dictate, what's going on a little bit. And Jeff threw out the rule book thing, and the rule book, states you got to come back right after. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. Like, I don't give a shit about what the rule book says. Clearly the rule book doesn't matter because we pulled light supers, after the pro stock class last night. So who gives a shit what the rule book says at this point in my mind, right? I mean, that's how I look at it. So then I go back to Mike Chiswick, and I didn't know more than turn the corner, and I see everyone in a Chiswick t-shirt with a freaking leaf blower in their hand, and I knew right then and there what was going on. I go up to Mike and I said, Mike, we waiting? Let's do. No, I want to go now. We're going. I ain't waiting. I'm not waiting for 50 pro stocks. We're going now. And I'm like, well, you told me an hour ago that we're going to wait if this happened. And nope. We're going now. So at this point, I'm pissed. My dad's even more pissed. Everyone's pissed in our camp because, like, well, we had an agreement with Mike that we were going to wait, and then Jeff didn't want to wait, which I understands Jeff's perspective. I'm hot, Terry's hot. That's Jeff has a good chance to win because everyone else is hot. Like, I totally understand that. The problem I got is we're first and second in the points, and now we haven't had a pull off all year long. Now we're going to have a pull off, and the night before they could run after the 2-wheel drives, but now we can't do that because it has to be unanimous vote and all this shit. And it just kind of soured me. And then the pull off happened. Terry did a great job, made a great run. I got second and Jeff got third. Cody never hooked. And yeah, that was that. So it pissed me off. And I think, there was a couple things to blame. You can throw the blame at NTPA, and I get all that, and I don't know what the right call there was to make. It's just the problem I had is the night before it was okay to do it, but now it's not okay to do it, and that was a problem I had. And it was like, well, it had to be a unanimous vote, which I had a problem with because to me, I don't know why in my opinion, a guy, I know he's in the pull off, but a guy that was his first pull he went to all year long, to me, shouldn't get a vote. Like first, second place point tractors, they get the vote, they decide what they're doing. And then it would have been split because I would have wanted to wait and Mike would have wanted to, you know, not or pull it off. So I really don't know how that would have worked. Maybe that's in the rule book somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what page that's on, but you know, that was the deal. I said what I said in the interview. Wasn't the most professional thing I've ever done in my life, but I just didn't give a shit, and I was really pissed because I felt like, well, I was lied to by Mike Chiswick, which I know that doesn't surprise a lot of people, but you know, that's that.
Kudos,
so
kudos
that's
to
what
you
happened.
for owning it, speaking on it, and telling us the full version that not isn't always easy to do, but it also we were just talking about this with John Leake, the passion and the competitiveness of everyone in this sport is something that I think is a positive.
Colin,
It's not positive for you, but it's a positive to show how.
Colin, how many years have you been running with NTPA competitively for points in the Superstock class? Period. How many years in a row? Hit or miss?
15. I mean, since 2010, I think we took 14 off, and we didn't, obviously, obviously 20, and then I don't think we hooked anywhere in 22. We pulled PPL 21, 22. I mean, might as well say 15, I guess, close to that, 13, 15.
Pretty big avid NTPA supporter over the years, I think, running for the Superstock Diesel, which I know you try to run the PPL to run against the alcohol guys, but, whatever, here or there, you've still been pretty loyal to what you've been doing. I think what you're saying is just find a little consistency in what they're doing. Right. I mean, here's a guy that's been consistently pulling with the organization for years and maybe wants a little clarity on a few things here or there. Not that people that come from other organizations or have pulled with other organizations and come to NTPA, all that stuff matters. But I think at the end of the day, I think an NTPA competitor that's been a lifer, kind of like you guys have, that maybe there should be a little bit of leniency towards the guy that runs with the organization all the time, not nearsayer that comes in from the sidelines, right? And just be consistency with the rule package, obviously. I mean, if you're going to run the light super stocks and give them time to cool off, which that's an alcohol engine, they get hot. Alcohol is a cool fuel. I mean, we can run mini rods back and back and back if we wanted to. If you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah,
diesel is not the same, and I guess I get the unanimous decision. That's fine. I guess you get that, but just be consistent.
I feel like they can. I mean, I suppose to play devil's advocate, I feel like NTPA was consistent though, because it sounded like they were going to offer them that if everybody voted for that, which I would assume was the case in the light super class, right?
Yeah, but
that's correct. But I guess the problem that I had is like there was no mention of that. You know what I mean? There's no mention of like the unanimous thing until after the fact. We didn't know that. Like if I'd have known that before that all happened, okay, well that's fine. That's what it is. But
how many people were in the light superstock pull off? I'm sorry. I know Larry Phillips won that class. Great for him.
I want to say 5. I think 5. Rex Kuhn, one of Whitworth's, 2 of Whitworth's actually. Wedelson, there's
all
5
guys that have been pulling points the entire year.
Correct.
That's all I want to know.
Will you propose a rule?
We need to make this clear too now. Like Bowling Green is the one that wants pull-offs. I don't think it's the NTPA tech.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that's the problem I have. Right, and that's the problem. Like the problem is Bowling Green because it's Bowling Green. But to me, we're the ones bringing the show, and I don't know why we're letting the promoter dictate if we have pull-offs or not. It's our equipment, it's our stuff. I mean, technically, and this is not a shot at Von Bauer or Marvin or any of them guys, because in my opinion, they have the shittiest job in the world because they can never make anybody happy. Never. Von Bauer, I don't give a shit. People on pull-off on Sunday morning or Monday morning are going to bitch about Von Bauer and his sled settings no matter what. And there's no right you can ever do there. And I think he does a pretty damn good job overall, considering what he has to deal with track conditions and everything else. And, so I entered 4 classes at Bowling Green. 4. Haven't had a pull off all year long. There was a pull off in every session I entered. If now, obviously, no one got in a pull off with Kent in the afternoon session, but if they would, someone else would have, there would have been a pull off. I'm just saying, it was just pull offs galore at Bowling Green this year. I'm all right having a pull off on Saturday night. The Diesel Super pull off on Saturday night was awesome. Between Kent and Mark Radish and Brandon Hunt, it was a great pull off. It was a great show. Save that shit for Saturday night, not Friday afternoon, not Saturday afternoon, Friday night, that's fine too. But I just think you need to pick and choose the classes you want to have a pull off in. And to me, the super stock class, whether it's alcohol or diesel, because both of them are very capable of putting on an extremely shitty show, I wouldn't think that would be the first 2 classes I would pick to want to have a pull off in, because it's damn lucky if the guys can make 2 passes in a weekend anyway. And I'm including myself in that. It just is what it is, So to me, the mod is a good class, because I feel like those guys not huge or a mini or a super farm or a 4-wheel drive truck, gas, what the hell ever. I just think the super stock is like literally last and second to last diesel alcohol super stock, like pull off wise. That's my
agree with
stock,
that,
not too far behind.
Yeah.
And pro stock would be number 3 on the list at the bottom. Yes.
Given the occurrence at Bowling Green, will you propose any rule changes this year for next year? Like, how would you word that? How would you package that?
I guess the thing is, and I don't know what the rule is. I just and you guys said it all night, just consistency. Like, what are we doing?
Mhm.
Like, where's the track end? Every sport, motorsport that I can think of, whether it's NASCAR or drag racing, there's a finish line. There's always a finish line. Now, NASCAR, it might be longer or shorter than others. Drag racing kind of, but there's just always like a floating distance, and I like a floating finish line because I only want to make one run. I think, a lot of the guys, and I love a pull-off. Pull-offs are awesome. They're badass. There's nothing better than a pull-off on Saturday night at Chapel Hill or Toma or Bowling Green are awesome. The problem is it's 2025. Every one of these classes are running on kill. You just damn near can't do it anymore, and it's really, really hard on shit. And I just don't know if it really helps the show. It does at times, like Saturday night in the super stock diesel class. All 3 of them ran again. All 3 of them spun out. It was a great show, but that's rare. And I don't know if, we need to do that on Saturday afternoons or Friday afternoons. I just think there's a time and place for it. But then that falls back into a consistency thing too. So I just think it's
before you
tough.
came on, we were just briefly talking about this. How much would it change if guys knew they had to run twice though in a diesel class?
That would have fucking changed the whole scope of our. If I knew I had to run twice before we ran, that would have changed everything for us personally.
I'm saying in general though, like if not Bowling Green, but like if you went to a pulling event in a futuristic setting and said, if I'm going to win this thing, I got to run twice. Like if I'm a top 3, I got to run twice. Would people change their, I guess what I'm saying, everyone runs them so hard right now. They're making so much power, but if you got to run twice to win, do you think that would change some things with people? I don't know with diesel. I'm just asking.
I don't know that there's much you can do with a diesel chase.
No, not really. Just because it's
diesel. I'm asking the diesel guy.
No, not really.
Pull offs are not good for diesels. Okay.
I guess, and the problem is that we had is, we wanted to prove a point that we could run in a pull off and we could make 3 passes in 4 hours, and that was our deciding factor. And what I was more pissed off at myself for more than anything is when I drove out there on Wednesday, I told myself, I'm not going to let a Bowling Green ring sacrifice, possibly winning 2 championships in 1 year. I'm just not going to do it. Like, I don't care. Yes, I want to win 2 Bowling Green rings worse than anybody with 1 tractor, but I'm not letting that, like, if there's a pull off, it's like kind of like a piece of meat out on the end of a stick for a hungry dog. Like you want to run so bad, but it's dumb, but damn it, you want to do it. And I didn't listen to anything of my advice that I gave myself going out there. Friday night happened. Now it also influenced by competitors in the class kind of lying to me point blank. And then it's like, all right, well, we're going to literally try to shove it up your ass now because now you lied. So that influenced that. But, I didn't listen to myself. I ran. I shouldn't have ran because it wouldn't have mattered because Jeff wasn't a points tractor. Cody was broke. I would have only lost 1 point to Terry, and then we could have went to Saturday afternoon, and it would have ran Saturday afternoon, and it would have been fine. And we probably could have made the whole weekend, and still had a shot to go to Enderley, and had a legitimate shot to try to win the Open. But Terry's got to finish last, and I got to win, and I'll win on more second places if it happens. But I doubt Terry's going to get last place at Enderley. But it is what it is. So,
understandably, well, one thing it showed me. And we'll play the video when you get off of here, just because here's the thing that actually stood out to me is during that interview, like, I'm sorry, but we've all heard the interviews of just, it's such a tough group of tractors and I'm honored to be up here, taking a pretty good fin. Like, I'm sorry, but if we haven't heard that interview 50 times, we've heard it 500 times. After you said your comment, you could hear the crowd on the live stream. Cheering. You could hear a roar come from them.
Damn right.
I think that's what the sport needs is we need some rivalries, we need some storylines, we need some excitement, and we need a reason to look at the results for the polls that we can't attend to say, oh man, where'd they stack up? Oh yeah, so and so got this finish. I mean, I think that's what draws excitement, and I think that interview was case in point when you hear the crowd's reaction. So I'll give it to you for that one for sure.
Yeah, we need somebody to be negative, Tyler.
Yeah, Adam, positivity check.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, it's. I guess at first I was like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. It's not professional. But on the flip side of that, I thought about, I when I was a kid, I liked Tony Stewart growing up, and I liked Kyle Busch growing up. And I know a lot of people didn't like him, but they didn't give a shit. They just said exactly what they thought, And a lot of the Tony Stewart interviews when he was younger, I mean, he was good and he didn't care, and he called people out. And I'm not saying I'm going to turn into that at all, but like I don't think there's a fine line between being professional and being polite, and also, speaking your mind and being honest. And I was honest, maybe too honest, but it is what it is. If you want to call it karma, it bit me the next day. So it is what it is, but I'll take it on the chin. I'm a man, and we'll move on.
Hey, it's like we said with the NASCAR guys, like the drama, maybe it's not encouraged, but that's what draws the storyline. So I'm a big fan of it.
It's people being themselves. And again, I'll say it again, from my standpoint, mad kudos to you for coming on here and owning it, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. So, you got Sandwich coming up next Saturday. Then, it was a tight race in the diesel race. You and Ken, I think, was within 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
2 hooks in one day. I'm sure that presents a challenge in itself, and then Enderley thereafter. So, anything in the bag of tricks for next weekend in Sandwich, or what's kind of the game plan going to Enderley?
Just do what we've been doing all year. The only problem is with Sandwich is we have never been there and have pulled. We've never left there and not broke something, or I think there's only one time we've made both hooks, and probably 6 or 7 times we've been there. So that kind of sucks thinking about that going there, but that luck has to change at some point. And the dependability and reliability has been really good on the tractor. We're very happy with that, and it'll be extremely fresh after what happened at Bowling Green now. So Kent's had a great year. He's extremely consistent, but I think if we just go out there and, go A to B and do our thing, I think we'll be fine. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We can blame it on ourselves. We never moved a sled 3 times this year from Hutchinson issues, and, obviously not being able to pull Saturday night at Bowling Green. So, we have no one to blame but ourselves. But no matter what happens, I'm very happy with what we've been able to do and the progress we've been able to make. I can't remember very many times where you've seen a diesel super hook 4 times in one weekend like we did at Rockwell and get a second and 3 first. I mean, I'm very proud of that. And
they probably were only making about 100 to 150 pounds of boost the days when that shit happened.
Oh, true. That's true.
I still blame Mother Nature, because the best run I've seen all year, outside maybe Billy Beer's last Friday, was your run at Fort Recovery before the rain came.
Yep. 2 tractors left. Yep.
I know you gave Mother Nature some credit for giving you the ability to do it, but that was very unfortunate because that class was basically done.
It was.
But
it was.
I guess.
It was.
So
we didn't even get to pull that weekend, so we enjoyed watching somebody go to the track.
yeah, we know that guy. So
Yep. Hell yeah.
But no, we're excited, going into it. It'll be what it'll be, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and we'll just build back stronger next year and go after them. But
just out of pure curiosity, I know running that stuff that many times with diesel in that heat. Do you mind to share what actually happened to the tractor?
Yeah. So, what happened was, when we made 3 passes in one day, it was laziness on my part, and I have kicked myself nonstop since then. But the bottom turbo on these things take a huge beating, because not only are they making 350 pounds of boost, they're turning in that top stage air into the second stage boost. They're also turning 80,000 RPM, and there's also making 600 to 650 degrees of temperature. So that aluminum compressor wheel goes through an absolute beating. We put that on there at Chapel Hill for Saturday night because we dropped a valve on Friday night and had to put a new head on, and it went through the bottom turbo, and we put a new turbo on for Saturday night, and that's been on there ever since, all through Fort Recovery, Rockwell, and Bowling Green. So it had, I think, 11 pass. That was the 11th pass on it Saturday afternoon. And no fault was it, the turbo whatsoever. The problem was it had all that heat in it from Friday, and we were thinking, well, it's a good one. We don't want to change it because it's been working. Hell, it's made 10 runs. Like, let's leave it on there. Let's go with it. But we never considered the fact of, Friday afternoon it made a run. Friday night it made a run back to back. And I think the pull off pass is really what killed it. And it probably, distorted it some. And then at 200 and some feet, Saturday afternoon, she finally let go. And the problem is, when it does that, it goes up through the top chargers, it goes through the motor, it goes through the exhaust side, it ruins all 3 turbos, puts aluminum on top of the pistons. It's not it's not like super catastrophic. It's just, you got to take everything apart. You got to pull pistons out, you got to take the head off, you got to redo valve job. All 3 turbos need replaced. The separate, we run separate turbo oil for all of our stuff, and it'll throw shit in the oil and all that, so we got to pull ball bearings out and all that stuff. So it makes quite a mess. But I should have changed it. But we were up till after the pro stock class, watching that. We were up. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning changing oil, servicing it, and then Dad was going to get up earlier. He was going to run valves, and and we were just tired. We were wore out, and I thought, it'd be fine. Surely it can get through, Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, and it didn't. But I'll look back on that for a long time and kick myself for not changing that and not, doing my part. But that's what happened. Nothing motor wise happened. I had people ask me, "Oh, did you split the block? Did you throw the rods?" Like and it's always right when you get off the track too. Like, as soon as you get off track, there's just one random dude's like, "What'd you do? Split the block, bud?" It's like, just timing, man. Like, just like, give me 5 minutes.
Shove it up his ass.
Yeah, exactly. Damn right. So, but yeah, so it is what it is. But as far as the motor, I'm gonna knock on wood here, but I'm proud to say that the crankshaft's never been out of that block all year. The motor's never been out of that chassis all year. So we've done good on the bottom end. Hopefully it's got a few more runs in it left, but even if it doesn't, I'm still proud of what it's done. And if we don't end up clinching the diesel deal, Kent's a worthy champion. I'll be happy for him as well. So we'll see what happens.
Kent's tough, man. He's been doing this shit all the time. He's a good guy.
Real good dude.
Appreciate you coming on, talking about the season, talking about the rule book of the Janus, and you and your family are great for the sport. Pretty badass vehicle. One of my favorites to watch as a fan. So appreciate you coming on, and best of luck at Sandwich and at the Enderley as well.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll try. Adam, I'd like to wish you good luck this weekend at Wasion. I wouldn't want to be you. That's tough.
No, it's part of it. Hey,
Yeah,
we're all just to be in the hunt. That's all that matters, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they put I'm not saying it was manipulated. I'm not saying, I think it's cool that you, Lindsay, and Jeff are all bunched up together. You know, it's not going to be, well, he was early or he was late. Like, that's how it needs to be done, you know, deciding this stuff. So,
do you think it was manipulated though, Colin?
oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somehow.
Absolutely.
It's an algorithm.
But let's put that. I mean, to me, that should be a great rule. Like, we got a tight points race. Let's bunch everybody up together, you know, in a big class. And I mean, I'm on board with that. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Yeah.
At the end of the year, when it
okay.
comes down to a points race, that's just good drama. Once again,
right.
That's a storyline, right? I mean,
yeah,
come on.
absolutely. I totally agree with that. I don't know how you'd ever make that a rule, but you know, I think it needs to be one.
What would you do if there's 56 super stock diesels?
I'm not gonna lie, like I was so wore out watching minis Friday afternoon after you guys. Like, my gosh.
Well, I mean, you had to pull after us. You had to pull after us.
Yeah. Dad asked me like 3 times. He's like, "You want to pull that thing up there?" I'm like, "Dad, Adam Bauer's like 31st hook, and he's still in front of our hauler. Like we're good. We're not even like 15 deep yet."
Stay in the shade.
It just, oh man, it was unbelievable.
I'm glad to hear my father isn't the only one that's overly excited about getting to the scales and waiting in line there versus being at the hauler. Because same thing. He's like, I think we should head to the scales yet. I'm like, yeah, we're like 35th hook and like 40th, and that guy's 5th, and he's still sitting there, but we should head there. Okay, got it. Let's go.
Yep. My dad's famous thing, which I love my dad. I'm not picking on him, but like he loves to, you know, when we plug the tractor in, we have an intake heater in it, like it's like a, you know, an industrial, you know, blow gun or whatever, heat gun. We put it there and we'll, you know, get the whole motor warm, like on the air side of things. And like he'll ask me at like 5 o'clock, we'll be last class. You know, we're not gonna pull till midnight. He's like, "Think we're gonna plug that thing in now?" I'm like, "Dad, we literally got 4 hours, bud. Like we don't like it's gonna be it's 95 degrees. We're in Chapel Hill. It'll be just fine." Like,
dads be like that sometimes.
They do.
He's ready.
He's ready to go. He wants her warmed up. He wants her to go.
What would we do without him, right? Well, keep those interviews exciting, bud. I'm a fan.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Cheers. Should we go in?
I thought we were getting
now.
I thought we were getting throttled there for a minute. I was like, holy shit.
I thought somebody was hiding outside of his house with a signal jammer, just kind of buzzing the story down off the.
Was it Marvin? Marvin was back there.
I saw somebody in the comments that said, "Someone doesn't want us to know the real story."
Yeah. It was.
There's been a few people.
That's the first time I'd heard all that. Honestly, you just hear the Cliff Notes version, but there's a lot of information there to take in.
It is interesting to hear that side of it, and I can see both sides for sure.
There's so much drama. Sure. There's some drama going on in the comments section. I love it.
There is a lot going on over there. I'm like, oh my, is this the bathroom at Louisville?
Whoa! More on that on another episode, maybe not.
Yeah. No, as it's been a good show. It's been a colorful show. I didn't. John Lincoln, Colin Ross. Like, if nothing else, at least we're showing personalities and pulling, right? Like, that's pretty awesome shit. Like, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, even I think all 3 of our guests, I mean, wonderful personalities that's what I always tell people is this show ultimately is about, you know, everybody sees these people go down the track, but when you get to hear them talk about some things and you see what gets them passionate and see what gets them excited, it's not that we're trying to be negative. It's that we want to show the passionate side of people and what gets them jazzed up and excited about this sport. So.
Yeah. John Leake was ready to sell his tractor. He was done. Now
he's building another one.
Yeah, over a DQ call.
We had Krista Voda on the podcast. I mean, we can't even forget about that. Dude, we started out easy and then it got progressively worse as we went on, I guess.
For sure. So we will play the Colin Ross video interview to end the show. I think that's a good sign off to say goodbye to everyone.
For sure.
Adam, best of luck this weekend. It's going to be fun to watch, and like I said, that mini rod class is freaking awesome, and it's
mini rod class. I think there was a Hudsonville mini rod class. I mean, Tyler, didn't you guys kind of like put on a pull up here?
Well, you know, we kind of helped with that whole deal, but it was.
What sanctioning organization did you use for that?
That was a NNATP. So that was a non-net approved.
I don't know that I've ever heard of that.
Well, it was unsanctioned, so it was a NNATP. It was a non-net approved tractor pull. But I gotta say, the track, I thought that was fun. I love Ned. He knows that.
That's awesome.
The track was not great. I actually sent a little bit of my race pack data. I don't know if the backstage has still got that ready to throw up, but it was probably one of the worst passes I've ever made. And so that light blue line and that orange line that you can see are my two individual tire speeds. And the one is spinning about 1,200 RPM and the other one's about 400 RPM. And you can see that top white line is marked 10,000. Yeah, that's my engine over 10,000 RPMs because it was one wheeling so bad. So that's what makes this sport fun and humbling, because you can take the same combination that's lucky enough to get second at Bowling Green Saturday night, arguably biggest pull in the world, take that same combination to a little fair down the road where there's 6 tractors, and you can get last and dead last.
Yeah.
So that was
now. Tell us a little bit about how you guys set all that thing up.
As far as what?
Well, I mean, I know you had for in whatever the organization was there, you guys had a certain payout, but you also had a spicer.
Yeah,
so it was just deal on the end there.
It was kind of a fun deal. My dad just put up $500, and he said after the drivers' meeting, everybody drew chips out of a bag, like poker chips, and there was pairs of different colors. And we said that, our 2 tractors couldn't be paired together. And so like Art Mendez and Store Holders drew the same color chip, so they were on a team. Dusty drew one color and I drew another color. So one of our tractors and Dusty's was on a team, and then Todd Boltman and one of our tractors was on a team there. And then whoever did better as a group got the $500. And I did such a bad job at dragging those 2 down that Art Mendez and Store Holder took home the extra $500. So just something fun and exciting. Just make it a little bit
spice it up a bit.
Yeah. Well, I see the people in the comments demanding the video.
And Tyler, I don't want to go without shouting you out. You wrap up your Pro Pool League season next weekend, Nashville, and I think you and Bruce both have a chance to get in there and mix it up if you have a good weekend for another championship, right?
Hey.
Well, we're going to try. I mean, we're 10 points out of first with the one, which is only 5 finishes, and it's 2 days. So anything can happen.
Yeah, explain that for fans. So NTPA is 1 point per.
Yeah. So NTPA, it's first gets 30, seconds 29, thirds 28, so on and so forth. And over at Pro Polling League, it's 50 for first, 48 for second, 46 for third, and so on and so forth.
Hey, Tyler, so let me ask you. Yeah. I have not pulled a PPL event yet this year. I'm thinking about going there. I'm not sure, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Taking these.
Yeah.
Can I buy a license and mess those points up or what?
I don't know. I can find that out for you. I think we'd love to have you.
I just want to come pull. Honestly, I love pulling. So, and it's really close to my house. So
I'm sure they'd love to have you there. And bring it on.
I actually bought a side-by-side from Brad Holzhauer because of what he's been doing for that pool.
You're in for sure then. You shitting me?
Bring it on. All right. No, I want to go. I want to go. I just didn't know what that. Chase, you gonna go?
I don't think I doubt I'll do that.
You need to get that mini rod testing. You want to bring it on over, make sure that it's gonna run.
Well,
get it put back together.
I have bigger problems that I need fixing, so I'll come drink beer with you all, but that's about all I'll do.
Sounds good to me. That place drinks beer just fine.
Yeah.
So.
It's perfectly good for alcohol fires at night, campfires.
It is. It is. Yeah. Cool. So this is a goal, Adam. You kick ass at Wasion. Tyler, you kick ass at Nashville. We come back in 2 weeks. We're talking about fucking championships for the No Practice podcast. Is that a deal?
I'll do my damnedest to do my part. Right. And Adam, you do the same. Cool. Cheers, gentlemen. It's good to be back.
Thanks again. Thanks to our guests. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Super stock diesel. So get to talk to Colin. Colin, pretty busy day, pal. 2 second place finishes. I know you expect to win, and that's kind of what you expect for yourself, but second's not too bad.
No, it ain't bad. We had to make 3 passes today, and
I'm very proud to what we've been able to do and get the durability out of it and make that thing competitive with the alcohol guys. Terry just kicked my ass tonight. He did a great job, and he ran good, and it was perfect. And I wish we had more time to cool down, but there was a competitor in the class that, he wanted to throw the rule book thing in my face, so I'm going to shove that rule book up his ass, but whatever. It is what it is. I wish we could have. Yeah, you're damn right. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Hell with all that, Anyway, it is what we're Bowling Green. We're happy to be here. We came here to win. We came here to do good, and I couldn't do it without all these people here and everybody back home at Ross Tractor. We've done really well this year, and the tractor's done what it's supposed to do, and just want to thank all these blue shirts. This pool is so badass. All you fans, this is just awesome here, and we're just happy to be here, but we'll hopefully fight tomorrow night and get up in there and see if we can put a ring on the finger, so. Absolutely.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice. Bye-bye.